have already spread from Tianjin to Henan province. Following concern that international teams arriving in Beijing might bring more Omicron cases into China, traffic officials here have advised locals not to approach vehicles carrying Olympic athletes, even if they have a car accident.
One of the main buyers of Belarus's big export, potash, says it's ending its purchases from April. The Norwegian fertiliser company Yara said international sanctions made it impossible to continue the trade. The crop nutrient is one of the main foreign currency earners for Belarus. The New Zealand director Jane Campion has won this year's Best Film Award at the Golden Globes for her western Power of the Dog. Steven Spielberg's remake of West Side Story was named Best Musical or Comedy. The television awards were dominated by the series Succession. BBC News.
Hello, I'm Anu Anand, and this is the programme that explores the world we live in through the work and voices of artists. Welcome to the Cultural Frontline. Today we're speaking to musicians from around the world about their experiences using the power of music and lyrics to address politics and identity. Coming up, Nikan Khosravi of heavy metal band Confess, jailed in Iran's notorious Evin prison for his anti-government lyrics.
For me was that no matter the cost, I gotta say this, it makes me feel like I exist.
Tamer Nafar, the Palestinian rapper whose lyrics reflect political themes. And LGBTQ+ artists Angel Hayes and Mix Blouse boldly expressing identity through rap, despite homophobia and misogyny. But first, we turn to heavy metal in Iran and how one musician's defiant music and anti-establishment lyrics saw him imprisoned
now,
in the
having weathered the
country's
storm of the last 2
Evin
years of the pandemic, manufacturers say they are a bit more positive about the prospects for growth as they enter 2022. But that optimism is tempered by fears of rising inflation, Brexit red tape, and having to fight to retain talent. Well, those are the main findings of the 2022 Make UK PwC Senior Executive Survey that was published this morning. We're joining me now, Cara Haffey. She's PwC's Industrial Manufacturing and Automotive leader, and Stephen Phipson. He's Chief Executive of Make UK, which represents 20,000 manufacturing firms across the UK. Welcome to you both. Stephen, let me start with you. I mean, I thought this survey was pretty positive on the whole.
I think it is, Ian, and we've seen some great results. About 73% of senior executives across the sector are thinking and saying to us that 2022 should be better than 2021, where we have seen in the last 2 quarters in particular a strong recovery in terms of new orders. And we've seen some margin recovery as companies have been able to pass on some of those additional costs we've seen in the supply chain pressures. But of course, as you say, that is countered with some other concerns, not least of which energy. If you're an energy intensive producer, the energy cost increase is something that's focusing people's minds at the moment, ongoing supply chain issues. And as you said, 25% of manufacturers are still very concerned about the arrangements around exporting to the EU. So we've got, a balanced picture here, but tipped towards positivity, which is a great way to start the year.
Well, Cara, one thing that jumped out at me was, Stephen just mentioned the whole issue with the EU. It's interesting that exporters now appear, by and large, to make America their top priority rather than the EU.
Yes, that's certainly a change that we've seen in over the last wee while. So people are really focused on exporting more widely than the EU. And are showing still some of the risks and feeling that they have around delays in logistics and shipping and customs. So 37% still saw a risk in delays through customs about how they think about their supply chain at the moment.
Stephen, where do you think we stand on this situation right now? It's a week or so since the UK started introducing customs controls of the kind that the EU introduced a year ago. What sort of feedback are you getting from members?
Early days yet at the moment, Ian, in terms of the new import requirements coming through. Well, we'll see more data coming through in the next 2 or 3 weeks. But obviously to remember there's various other steps to go through yet, not least of which the change to the marking of products from CE to CA marking and various other requirements that come in through the latter part of this year. So people have got a very clear mind on that. But what we are seeing, Ian, I think is also a real change in investment emphasis, where companies are looking at mitigation strategies around investing in supply chain resilience, for example, to try to mitigate some of these effects, particularly the ones they've seen in supply chain shortages recently. So a bit of a change in emphasis around the way investment will happen this year and where those priorities are for businesses.
And the interesting thing, Cara, is that, this is going to lead through to higher productivity, according to the survey. Is that productivity going to come just from investment, or will there be an element of cost cutting as well, do you feel?
I think our manufacturers are always looking at costs as well, and they have to make sure that they remain profitable. But they are thinking about how they empower their people to push on productivity, and that's something as a nation that we continue to focus on, and certainly we do with our clients. Productivity is a huge piece in our industry, but they have shown a lot of resilience and agility over the last couple of years, and I think people really want to learn the lessons and actually take some of the positives forward.
Cara, where do you think investment is going to be focused most chiefly this year?
I think for us, we're seeing a lot in digitalisation, so really looking at that as well as new product development. The manufacturers that we've surveyed really have a focus on net zero and aspects of ESG, and therefore that's come through really strongly this year, as it probably didn't do in other years. And actually we see a lot of investment coming from that and where our manufacturers are going to focus.
Stephen, you touched just now on another major challenge, which is staff retention, of course. What sort of levels of wage inflation are you expecting to see this year in the sector?
Well, we are seeing, at the moment, we're seeing, wage inflation. It depends on which skill set you're looking at, particularly high in the vocational skills area. People are CNC operators, tool makers, that sort of area where we've got shortages rather than the higher end of the higher end engineers. So at the shop floor level, we're seeing 10-20% in some cases, but at the higher end, a much more reduced side of it. So we are seeing quite a large amount, particularly coming through in this survey, of investment in retaining those skills, making sure they can retain them. And very pleasingly, Ian, we're seeing about 50% of manufacturers wanting to invest in apprenticeships for those vocational skills for this year. So people are thinking very clearly about how to mitigate the skills challenges we have at the moment.
Nice to have a bit of good news on the programme. Stephen, Cara, good to see you both. Thank you.
Thank you.
Some other stories now. Inspire Healthcare, the private healthcare operator, said this morning it's agreed to provide support to the National Health Service and its patients during the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic. Well, Spire said the final details of a new contract had yet to be agreed, but it would operate on similar terms to the contract put in place between January and March last year, which was announced at the end of 2020. Well, the news came as a number of other private healthcare providers, including Nuffield Health, Ramsay Healthcare UK and Circle Health, all agreed to provide crucial healthcare treatments such as cancer surgery should Omicron threaten to overwhelm the NHS. Sales at the discount retailer Aldi edged higher during the Christmas period. The privately owned company said that December sales in UK and Ireland were up 0.4% on the same month a year earlier. There was no detail provided on how sales had grown on a like-for-like basis, which strips out the impact of new store openings and store refurbishments. And the trading platform operator Plus 500 said this morning that full-year results will be better than expected. Plus 500, which sponsors the football clubs Atletico Madrid, Young Boys and Legia Warsaw, said this was despite trading activity during the final 3 months of the year being weaker than during the July to September quarter. It said that it had 406,000 active customers during the year as a whole, well ahead of pre-pandemic levels, with 172,000 using their account during the final 3 months of the year. Well, now the Brexit transition period's over, many mobile phone users are facing the return to daily charges to make calls or use data when they travel to countries in the European Union. Vodafone is reintroducing roaming charges later this month, with EE pushing back its price increases and charges until March. But Virgin Mobile O2 has announced today it's not going to bring back charges at all. Well, joining me now is Gareth Turpin. He's the Chief Commercial Operator of mobile at Virgin Media O2. Gareth, very good morning to you. How much is this going to cost you to do this?
Good morning, Ian. Well, actually, for me, this is not about the cost. As a customer-first business who really focus on our customers, this is about doing the things they value. And we know from our polling that 75% of Brits intend to travel abroad this year after what has been a really difficult 2 years. And we know this is something they really value. So we want to provide our customers with certainty that when they're booking holidays or travelling now, actually they don't have to contend with daily roaming charges as they would with many of our competitors. We think this could be worth more than £100 to our customers for a family of 4 travelling abroad for 2 weeks. So actually we want to do what's right by our customers, and I think it's fair to say through the history of O2 and through Virgin Media, doing the right thing for our customers and being brave in the market actually pays off rather than carries a cost.
And you can guarantee you will never reintroduce these charges, can you?
You can never guarantee anything, Ian, in our industry, but what I can say is this is not a short-term measure. This is something we're absolutely committed to. We think it's the right thing to do for our customers and the right thing to do for our business. So we have no intention of changing these charges. Of course, you always have to review whether it is something customers value, whether we see that uptake, but we're really passionate about this. We think it's the right thing to do, and it's something we're putting in place for the long term. It's definitely not a short-term measure.
Of course, none of your competitors have actually reintroduced these charges yet. They've only said they will. Do you think there's a possibility they might not go ahead with this now they've seen what you're doing?
I think, obviously, Ian, it would be wrong for me to comment on what our competitors do. What I do know is our customers tell us they absolutely value roaming services. They don't want the hassle or the concern of being charged on a daily rate. As I say, £100 on top of a holiday in what was already difficult times can be really challenging. So from our point of view, we're doing what's right for our customers, and obviously it's up to our competitors what they choose to do for themselves.
And this will be across both O2 and Virgin Mobile?
Yes, that's right, Ian. Across both O2 and Virgin Mobile, we won't be reintroducing roaming fees.
I mean, now you're part of the same group. What's the rationale behind keeping O2 and Virgin Mobile separate?
Obviously, from our perspective, Ian, we address different parts of the market, and one of the things we will always look at, we also have giffgaff within our portfolio as well, and we're a shareholder in Tesco Mobile. It's about addressing different parts of the market with different needs, and we'll always review our brand strategy and whether we do the right things for our customers, but it's absolutely about focusing on different parts of the market and delivering different outcomes for our customers.
All right, Gareth Turpin, good to talk to you this morning. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you, Ian.
Now, what to do with the world's used tyres is a major environmental issue. Research suggests that more than 1 billion of them are disposed worldwide each year. Well, a major £100 million tyre recycling plant is due to open at the port of Sunderland later this year. The Norwegian company Wastefront has announced today that Technip Energies will be its engineering, procurement and construction partner for the site. Well, Vianney Valles is Wastefront's chief executive, and he joins me now. Very good morning to you, sir. Why did you choose to locate this site in Sunderland?
Good morning, Ian. Well, as you said, there's a global problem with waste tires, and we're solving it, and we needed to start somewhere. We're starting in the UK, and we're starting in Sunderland because Sunderland has a very good port facilities. It's in the northeast with a tradition of industry, a lot of skilled labor. It was the perfect place to install a £100 million ultra-modern facility to tackle this endemic problem of used tires.
How does the waste recycling process work, and what are the products that emerge at the other end?
Well, with our process, we take every component of the tire. Tires are a pretty beautiful technology product. There's a lot of valuable component there, and we're taking every component and turning into an even more valuable product. So in a tire, you would have rubber that we transform into biofuels. You would have carbon black to ensure the durability of the tire, and we are simply recovering it as recovered carbon black into new tires. And you have wire to ensure the structure of the tire, which is simply recovered as scrap metal. So nothing is lost. The process is fully circular, and that's a huge breakthrough compared to the current solutions that are proposed for our used tires.
And what proportion of tyres are currently recycled right now around the world? And what happens to those that aren't? Do they end up in landfill, presumably?
Well, it's a pretty dire situation. So, as you said, billions of tires are discarded every year in the world. At least half of them end up in very environmental unfriendly solutions such as landfilling. You probably have seen those huge fire in the great tire graveyards in Kuwait, things like that. I mean, more natural solutions in the West, for example, are incineration of tires. But this is not satisfactory. I mean, this is not recycling. You would not be satisfied if paper was simply incinerated instead of being recycled. So I would say 75% of those tires are handled in an unsatisfactory manner, compared to our green objectives.
And in terms of the feedstock, will you be paying people to take old tyres off their hands, or will they be paying you to take them away from them?
Well, it's going to be basically a neutral cost because people have to pay to get rid of tires, and you have aggregators who need to make a profit. So when the product reaches our facility, it's basically at a very small tipping fee for us, so almost a neutral cost. And that's one of the beauty of this process is that we're taking tires that are real and that are a real environmental problem, and we're transforming them into a highly valuable product. So the plant is actually very profitable, not in spite of being environmentally friendly, but because it is environmentally friendly.
So how quickly will it take for you to repay the cost of this £100 million investment?
Well, less than 4 years, and that's due to the fact that we're selling extremely valuable products. Biofuels are highly desirable for the UK. We're lacking biofuels. We are going to produce also bioplastic, feedstock for bioplastic, and recovered carbon black is a needed raw material for those tire manufacturers who need to incorporate more recycled components into their tires. So, the direction is extremely positive, and that's why, profitability is good, and in less than 4 years, you can recover your investment.
All right, Vianney, we have to leave it there, I'm afraid. Thanks very much for joining me today. It's much appreciated.
Thank you.
Well, still to come here on Ian King Live. We'll have a look at how markets have begun the week. Stay with us.
Like pulling us out of that little room.
Mandatory evacuation! I'm Greg Milam, Sky's US correspondent here in Los Angeles. It is almost impossible to predict where these fires will go next. We aim to be the best and most trusted place for news. This gives you an idea of the strength of those winds, strong enough to bend and twist metal. Are you trying to run me over, Sir Philip?
No, go away.
Look like it, sir.
You need to leave, but you're not understanding.
I've seen the dark side of America. We are standing on the supply line right into the heart of America's opioid crisis. I've seen heartbreaking human stories. Christchurch has been changed forever by what happened here.
Well, stock markets in the Asia-Pacific region enjoyed a largely positive session overnight. Sydney and Tokyo were more or less unchanged, while elsewhere there were gains in Hong Kong, Shanghai and in Mumbai. Well, in Europe, stocks have opened largely to the downside since the opening a couple of hours ago or so. Here's the current picture, all of them in negative territory apart from the MIB in Milan. Talking points include Atos. Shares of the French technology consulting group are down by more than 16% right now in Paris. That's following a profits warning. Well, here in London, the FTSE 100 is more or less unchanged. It's 3.5 points higher there. Gains for the energy and banking sectors being balanced out by losses elsewhere. The house builders are the biggest fallers in the FTSE this morning on concerns over that potential cladding bill. As you can see there, Persimmon, Barclay Group, Barrett Developments, Taylor Wimpey, all of them down by around 3% or more. And outside the FTSE 100, it's a pretty similar story with Redrow, Bellway and Countryside Properties all off by around a similar amount. On the foreign exchange market, it's very interesting what's been going on. The pound finished the first week of 2022 higher against the US dollar and the euro, and as you can see, it's held on to those gains this morning. I draw your attention actually to the movement against the euro right now. The pound is actually trading at its highest level against a single currency since February 2020. So back to pre-pandemic levels there, really. Elsewhere, the oil price continues to hold above $82 a barrel. Well, look at that. It's just slipped below it. That's amid concerns over supplies from Kazakhstan. A barrel of Brent crude right now will set you back $81.96 a barrel. That is ahead by 0.25%. Joining me now is Catherine Young. She's Investment Director at Fidelity International. Catherine, very good morning to you. Big moment for markets this week is going to be the inflation data. We get numbers from both China and the United States.
Yes, all eyes on the inflation data, especially when we look at it from an American perspective and whether the Federal Reserve really makes that shift policy-wise and starts tightening rates. China's a bit of a different story, so it's less of a risk, especially CPI. Having said that, a lot of the agricultural names did well today, as we are seeing higher prices, both chicken and pork prices, as we move into the Chinese New Year, which occurs at the end of the month.
How are consumers going to be equipped for the Chinese New Year this year? Are there a lot of savings available waiting to be splurged?
The savings rate's still over 30%, so very high. But one of the risks that China does face from an economic perspective is if we continue to see these lockdowns, the movement of people and potentially goods too. So, for example, disruptions to the supply chain and manufacturing. So, the COVID situation in China and even in Hong Kong with zero tolerance for cases, again, it's something that investors do need to be mindful of this year. It's been the case like this for the past couple of years now in terms of this aim that the government does have.
Yeah, it's a good point you raised there about lockdowns. I mean, we've had one of these again overnight in Tianjin, which is a big port city.
Yes, exactly. And again, here in Hong Kong. So it's about whether the consumer and sentiment gets eroded as a result of these lockdowns, as well as that manufacturing, coupled with potentially higher energy prices as we see global inflation starting to rise. The positive side of all this is, again, unlike the rest of the world, China's in a bit of a different position in terms of policy. So we've moved now from the third quarter last year more towards an easing bias. And they do have the funds to support in terms of both monetary as well as fiscal policy. So you could see further tweaking from an easing perspective.
And for you, that would presumably mean that there is still upside to come for Chinese equities this year.
Yes, well, China, again, being the contrarian market that it has been, it had a bit of an underperforming year last year, especially versus other markets. So valuation-wise, multiple-wise, there are some interesting opportunities still. The earnings cycle, though, is still key. And so if we look at the index MSCI China, earnings estimates for this year are about 14%. You're probably going to see some downward revisions there. So what's key is really owning names that have better earnings certainty.
That's pretty decent earnings growth, though, 14%.
Yeah, it is. And we're still seeing relatively robust growth, too, out of the country. So, again, when you factor all these points in, it offsets a lot of the negative news flow, especially relating to those regulatory changes we did see last year, as well as the weaker macro environment we did see in the second half. But I think what's really key is that the market does have that policy support, both from a fiscal point of view as well as a monetary point of view.
All right, Catherine, got to leave it there. Always good to talk to you. Thanks very much indeed for joining me today. We'll still to come.
And all beauty accessories, hair and beauty brands, natural aphrodisiacs, processed and dried unprocessed food. Our mission at Gabby Dave is to connect African and Caribbean businesses to customers globally. At Gabby Dave, we ensure our sellers get the best deal for their products. We are not just here to help you reach a wider audience. We are also a distribution center to support business growth by fulfilling orders to your customers from our warehouse, making sure customers receive their products on time. We are inviting all Black-owned businesses to trade on our platform because we strongly believe Africans have a unique brand the customer would appreciate globally. So get in touch today and let us make your product and business go far. Here are some of the benefits of using Gabby Dave Global. User-friendly platform, track your shipment, online support, transparent process, multiple SKUs, multiple products, a platform that encourages manufacturers as well as traders. Our marketing and PR interventions amplifies yours. Organized products and categories for easy access and navigation. Access to global community, especially within UK and Europe.
Is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission-free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Starr, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Tune in to On Point here on Star Radio UK with Empress Regina every Monday at 5 p.m. GMT. Looking forward to your company.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Star Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Are you looking for the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy door-to-door shipment company? Well, look no further. When was the last time your family received a shipment back in Ghana on time and in time? You are not sure? Well, Lamb Shippers, we pride ourselves with being the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy shippers you can use. You are assured of a prompt pickup anywhere in the UK by our personnel. They also make sure your items are well packaged to get to its destination in time. When it comes to door-to-door shipment, look no further. Well, Lamb Shippers, contact us on 07939009321 or 07498911820. Or you can visit our website www.welllamb.co.uk. You can also drop us a mail, info@welllamb@gmail.com. Well Lamb Shippers, fast, reliable, and trustworthy.
Check me out. He tells me my energy is making him tired.
Yes!
How do you get the energy to do
I've been told that I have a lot of energy, but my goodness, I think today I have met my match people. I have met my match, Miss Suzanne. Wow, amazing.
One of the things that's the start of the darkness. The of darkness.
So what did that
myself and the world will adjust. And 2019.
Forget the proverbial boardroom. Join me, Simone Frazier, on the CEO, the program that gives you the driving seat over your life. Every Tuesday, 8 p.m. only on Star Radio.
Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
All around the world. In your car.
At work.
At home.
On your smartphone.
This is Star Radio UK.
Are you ready to turn it up?
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Birds flying high, you know how I feel. Sun in the sky, you know how I feel. Breeze drifting on by, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me, and I'm feeling good. Hey there, this is Archie. Okay, so this is how I say a massive good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good dawn to you wherever you are on planet Earth, and those of you on other planets as well. We salute you all and we welcome you to the Monday edition of the morning show. Today is the 10th day of January, the year 2021. So far 10 days gone. Wow. On behalf of management of Starr Radio UK and all presenters and all friends and loved ones, we want to welcome you all to the morning show once again. Of course, I remain yours sincerely.
This is the morning show. This is the morning show with Archie.
Let me say special good morning to my colleagues, Mr. Frank Davis, Mr. Olaimi Koiki, Kojo D, and HRH Linda Pallien, all the way in Cyprus. To Felix, all the way in Aberdeen. Mr. Dantaburi, CEO of GIL Accountancy Services, our money man. Yes, good morning to you. He's under so much pressure. End of the year, end of the tax year. Well, you have any issues pertaining to your taxes or your account or anything of the sort, just get in touch with him. All right then. And let me say special good morning to Mr. Kofi Ali Abdul Yakin, wherever you are. Hope you are doing very, very, very well. To Mr. David Kloche, good morning to you. Mr. Malik Dramani Mahama, I salute you, sir. Let me say special good morning all the way to in the US to Mr. Isaac Makiva and all the Makivas, their family. There, I salute you all. I hope you are all doing very, very well. Comfort Heaven in Minnesota. He said, yeah, this morning you are listening to us on your way from work. This dawn, so I know very, very dawnish. Good morning to you as well, and to the family. I hope they are all doing very, very well. And I'm saying special good morning also to Mr. Buama all the way in Texas, Casino in Moscow. He brings us all the greetings from Moscow with love. Massive good morning to you as well. To our listeners in the US as a whole, in Europe, in Asia, in Australia, especially to Djokovic. Massive good morning to you. I hope they have not rearrested you though. Well, and then on the African continent, every one of you tuned in to listen to us. As I say all the time, once we come on air and I know that you there are listening to us, I really want to salute you, because I know it costs you an arm and a leg to just buy the data and to use it. My goodness, thank you very much, and a massive, massive good morning to you, afternoon, or whichever it's appropriate. to Mr. Ebenezer Hammond in South Africa. Massive good morning to you, Chantel. I hope you're all doing very, very well. Guys in that office, yes. To our listeners in Uganda, those of you in Kenya, those of you in Nigeria, those of you in Ghana as well, my Liberian listeners, oh my goodness, I hope you're all doing very, very well. Massive good morning to you all, and welcome to the show. Okay, so from now till 1 o'clock, I'm going to be your captain. So this is a program outline for you if it's your first time of tuning in to listen to us. I'm going to bring you the quote for the day, the weather forecast will follow suit, then the travel updates. We'll move on from there to have a look at some of the stories making the rounds across the globe, known as Global Trotting. We'll go on from there, and exactly at 11 o'clock, we'll start bringing you some details of the stories making the rounds. We'll go to Nigeria first. We'll bring you updates from Nigeria. As I promised you, listeners, pretty soon we should have Mr. Olaimi Koike. He's just trying to tie some loose ends, and once he's done that, he'll be joining us. Then after that, we'll go around the globe looking at the detailed stories and discussing it or reviewing it. I'll be joined by Mr. Frank Davis. He'll be joining us virtually as well. So this morning he's not going to be in the studio. So you just gear yourself up and enjoy the show. Then at 12 o'clock, the lines are open for you to add your voice to the discussions. But before then, as I say all the time, you can just post it on our Facebook page or go to our text or WhatsApp number and just text it or WhatsApp it to us, and I promise I'm going to read it. Or you can go to our Twitter. Our Twitter handle is Starr Radio UK. Or if you want to email us, why not? Just email us, and I promise you I'm going to read that. And also, so at 12 o'clock, the lines will be open for you to join in. And then exactly at 12:45, we'll be going all the way to Cyprus, where we'll be joined by HRH Linda Pallien, who is in Cyprus as well on Career 101. So in a gist, that's what we're going to be doing. So once again, let me say welcome to the show. Don't go away. Share the broadcast with your friends and loved ones and invite them to like our pages. Okay, so let's crack on. The quote for the day says something that is very, very interesting. It's a great and successful leader needs to love and respect people. Now, a great and successful leader needs to love and respect people. So if you're a great leader and you cannot respect the people, they will turn up and then finish you. Okie dokie do. I mean, you think that you surrendered yourself with some some people say macho. And then because of that, you are untouchable, my friend. Remember, you need to respect, and love the people around you. Okay. Now let's move on straight to the weather front. I mean, it's been quite a mixture of a weather front for you. But this Monday, let's see what is going to happen in London and the southeast of England as well. Now this afternoon will be rather dull and overcast. It will remain dry for the most, but the odd spot of light rain cannot be ruled out. Gentle winds are expected as well. Now this evening, the thick cloud will persist and some showery rain will spread in from the west through the night. Some heavy in places. A few patches of mist and fog may develop as well. A mild night expected as well. When it comes to the temperature is going to be 9 degrees and the lower is going to be 8 degrees. UV level is going to be low and pollution is going to be low as well. Sunset 16:13 and sunrise for tomorrow morning 0803 hours. That brings us to the end of the weather forecast for you today for London and the southeast of England. If you want to share with us what is happening in your area, why not? Feel free to do so. I promise you I'm going to share it because we are a worldwide radio station and therefore what you might say might benefit somebody in your area or somebody who is traveling to your area. What about that? Okay. So do me a favor and just get on with it. Alright, then we'll take a commercial break, and once we come back, I'll bring you the travel update. It is Starr Radio UK. It is the favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London.
Tune in to On Point here on Starr Radio UK with Empress Regina every Monday at 5 p.m. GMT. Looking forward to your company.
This is Starr Radio UK.
Okay, so keep your eyes on the roads. Keep your eyes on the roads. I will keep you navigated. I promise. I'll be on the Starr Radio UK travel update that comes to you every weekday from 10:40. It's now 10:45. So what is happening on your travel this morning? I will really want to know what is happening on your travels. But let me share with you what is happening here. Well, on the underground this morning, apart from the Waterloo and City lines that's got planned closures, all the others have got good service. But when it comes to the landing overground, there are reduced service. There's reduced service Monday the 10th until Friday the 14th of January. A reduced service is operating every 30 minutes between Surrey Quays and New Cross. Trains will run every 5 to 8 minutes between Dawson Junction and Surrey Quays instead of around every 4 minutes. So please check before you leave. Check before you leave. Also, on the London Overground still, from Monday to, that's today, to the 14th of January, that's Friday, trains will now run every 30 minutes between Richmond and Wilton Junction. Instead of every 12 to 15 minutes, trains continue to start from Stratford. Trains will run every 10 to 15 minutes between Wilton Junction and Stratford instead of every 6 to 10 minutes. Trains start at and continue to Richmond or Clapham Junction. So that's for your information. Now, if you want to travel on that, please check before you leave so you don't miss your appointment or anything of the sort there. Check it out. But keep your eyes on the roads. Keep your eyes on the roads and we'll keep you navigated. Now, the TFL rail has also got minor delays between Liverpool Street and Shamfield due to an earlier faulty train. Landing overground are accepting tickets via reasonable routes. Good service between Liverpool Street to Reading and Heathrow. That aside, London Trambling DLR are all in good service. But keep your eyes on the roads. Keep your eyes on the roads. I will keep you navigated. I promise. Our bond. Now, moving on straight to the river bus. Apart from the Woolwich ferry that is suspended, all the others have got good service. Now, let's move on to the National Rail. On the National Rail, 3 incidents here and there, so lend me your ears. Now, Avanti West Coast has got special service, Chiltern Railway, special service, Cross Country, special service, First Haul Trains, special service, First Transpennine Express, special service, Gatwick Express, special service there as well. Great Northern, special service, Great Western Railway, special service, Great Anglia, special service, London North Eastern Railway, special service, Mersey Rail, special service, Northern Rail, special service, ScotRail, special service, Southwestern Railway, special service, Southeastern, special service, Southern, special service, Thameslink, special service, and Transport for Wales, special service there as well. So if you plan to travel on the the National Rail, please check before you embark on your journey. Check and check and check again. So you don't miss your appointment there. But keep your eyes on the roads. Keep your eyes on the roads. I will keep you navigated. I promise. Our board. Now moving on to the final segment of the travel update. That's the major roads in London. A1 has got closures. A316 has also got closures. A4 closures. Central London Red routes closures there as well. North Circular A406 closures. South Circular A205 closures there. A20 serious delays. So if you can avoid all this, do your best to avoid it. If not, you're cut in there. You're stuck in there. Continue to listen to us. I promise you, as and when there are any changes, I'll bring you to the fore. So let me say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good dawn to you wherever you might be on planet Earth. Enjoy your commute for today, but you know what? Continue to keep those eyes on the roads.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission-free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Starr, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Tune in to On Point here on Starr Radio UK with Empress Regina every Monday at 5 p.m. GMT. Looking forward to your company.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go from Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Yes, it's now 8 minutes to the top of the hour, and it is the Monday edition of the morning show. It's now time for Global Trotting wherever you are. I hope you're enjoying the show wherever you are as well. Like I said earlier on, please share the broadcast with your friends and loved ones and invite them to like our pages as well. We are streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and all the social media platforms. We've got our own dedicated app. So you go to your app store, whether it's iOS or Android, just type in Starr Radio Global. Now it will just pop up. Just go there, download it for free.
Now we're here.
And you see that got a lot of facets to that app. Other stations operating there as well. The TV session as well. It's very interactive, so just go there, get there, and then let us know how you feel about it. Alright then, now let's go Global Trotting. And let's say a special good morning to Mrs. Mary Bruce. Ma'am, good morning to you. I hope you are doing very well. Okay, so what are some stories making the rounds across the globe? Celebrations have been revealed for the Queen's Platinum Jubilee. Now, puddings, parties, pageantry, as well as 4-day bank holiday weekend will mark her 70th year reign. Well, maybe you'll get yourself involved in the pudding that has been competition. Let me put it that way. You know, we've got some of our people who are very, very good at cookery. So maybe you can get yourself involved in that. Who knows? Maybe your pudding will be the one that will be on top, and the whole of the UK, it will be something that you get a contract for that. What about that? Because the shops will be ganging out to you for how you make it, or get a taking what you have done as well. So please make hay while the sun shines. Firms have been told to remove and save cladding. Developers who do not remove cladding on buildings 11 to 18 meters high could face a legal action, the government has said. Well, the regulator is the government, right? They're supposed to have checked to make sure that everything is going the way it's supposed to be, or the whatever department that is supposed to is the housing, if they are the ones who see to that. Well, they are ringing the bell now, though they didn't check it and whatever might have happened. But what do you think about all that? Well, interesting story coming through. Coats may give some COVID protection. Hey, get yourself some coat. It could protect you from COVID. Well, the story says researchers say immune cells made to defend the body against some colds could help stave off COVID. So mixed up, you know. And looked as if it was over. You made a way. Now, pregnant women urged not to delay COVID jab. Now, most pregnant women admitted to hospital with COVID are unvaccinated, a government campaign has said. So, well, if you're pregnant, yeah, we are advising you, or government is advising you to go get a jab to protect yourself and protect the unborn. Holding on to faith, and men lose case against Man City over Bernal abuse. 8 men said they were abused by pedophile Barry Bernal while he was a Manchester City scout. Well, Manchester City said that we cannot pay for his deeds. Well, so there are some stories making the rounds in the UK. Straight to some international stories as well. Djokovic wins court battle to stay in Australia. The sub-tennis star visa cancellation is overturned by a judge, but the government could still try to deport him. It's quite an interesting one there, isn't it? Well, Kazakhstan unrest was coup attempt, says President. President Tokayev says a hunt for terrorists is continuing and Kazakhstan will soon provide proof. Interesting one there. And in New York, apartment block fire, 19 have died out of that. There were 9 children among the fatalities in the fire, which took hold on Sunday in the Bronx. Now, growing reports of violence linked to power struggle, Kazakhstan unrest may stem from infighting in the ruling elite, says Steve Rosenbeck, who works for the BBC as well. Aung San Suu Kyi jailed for another 4 years. Oh, wonderful people. Myanmar's former leader faces a series of charges since being ousted in an army coup last February. Like the Iranians, you know. And Mrs. Radcliffe, yeah, you know, every time when one sentence is just, she's almost finished serving that sentence, they said, we remember a new case against you. They'll put something on her and then just say, yes, the ruling has gone against you, and then sentence her for another 10 years. Well, that is what is happening in Myanmar. Walkie-talkie, 5 years. What? Not making yourself or making information available to all the the military, another 5 years, and then they go on. By the time they finish, I think she has to still stay in prison for life. All right, then it's already UK. West Side Story triumphs as troubled Golden Globes. Steven Spielberg's remake of the classic film was among the big winners at Sunday's event in LA. A US actor and comedian Bob Saget died aged 65. The Full House star was found dead in his hotel room in Orlando where he was on tour, police have said. What caused his death? Well, more will be coming on that front. It's all coming your way from Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Well, you remember Alec Baldwin? You remember the shooting on set? Well, Baldwin just claimed he blocked shooting probe. The actor has not presented his phone to investigators despite a search warrant being issued. Did he have anything to do with it? Not sure about it. Well, when it comes to the Middle East, Outspoken Saudi princess have been released from jail. Princess Basma bin Saud and her daughter were held without charge for almost 3 years. She was doing two Oh my world. You know, when I look at such stories, then I look at the I'm not saying that women here are privileged, but the fact that those here as well, some do take that freedom for granted. Then I seem to say that look at what is happening elsewhere. We know we've not done everything, or everything has not gone the way, but at times, you know, this part of the world, the women, oh my goodness. Alright, so coming away from Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Maybe I'm the one bashing the women. Feel free, you can also bash me. What about that? Fourth dose works. Israel says as COVID cases spike. There are some stories making the rounds there. Coming away from Starr Radio UK with our days. Or global trotting, my apologies. From revolutionary leader to opposition hate figure, who is that? Daniel Ortega, the veteran Sandinista revolutionary, will be sworn in for a 4th term as presidente. You made a way, and we're standing here only because. Okay, it is Starr Radio UK. Straight to the African continent to have a look at some stories making the rounds there as well. Mali has been hit by sanctions as regional bloc shuts borders. Now Janta responds by closing land and air borders and terms ECOWAS sanctions illegal. Well, so the fact that they've closed the land and air borders, what does it mean? So that means that the planes cannot fly in their airspace, so they have to divert their course to going wherever in that sub-region. If you have to travel via that, I mean, if we are traveling from the UK down there, I think you go through Mali. So where are they going to go? Are they going to veer off or fly very, very high? And okay, well, they say you want to sanction us, we also want to sanction you. And so I'll bring you more details on that front. Well, the AFCON has started. Yes, the host country, Cameroon, beats Burkina Faso in AFCON opener. Host Cameroon come from behind to beat Burkina Faso in an absorbing opening game at the Nations Cup. If you're listening to us, how is Ghana going to fare? How is Nigeria going to fare? And all the rest. We'll be bringing you more on that front. Now, Uganda schools reopen after almost 2 years. This has been one of the world's longest closures caused by global COVID pandemic. So, are the children going back to their same class or 2 years? So if they are in year 4, or they were in year 4, now they have to go to year 6, and those who are yet to go to secondary school will have to go. What is going to happen on that front? I would love to know it exactly there. So coming away from Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Okay, let's move on straight to some other stories there before we come look at the stories making the rounds. Nigeria, we have this from Nigeria. We're bringing you more on the ECOWAS move against Mali coup. Don't know how, but you did it. Okay, so when it comes to Nigeria, Sanyo-Olu meets to resolve Lagos nurses crisis as well. And a lot more going to be coming your way, but let's quickly hop to Ghana before I bring you the updates from Nigeria. Stay tuned, don't you go away. Well, in Ghana, interestingly, well, I personally witnessed Akufo-Addo's chair being assigned a V8 lawyer. Tama Close says, well, you know, when the president is traveling, maybe he's going to from Accra to maybe I don't know, maybe to the eastern region or to some other region outside Accra, or if he's going for an event outside the seat of government, does he have to carry his seat as well? Well, the story says that, well, a whole V8 is assigned that, and they put that chair in it, and then he goes and they take that chair and put it down for him to come and sit on it. The fact that he is not sitting on his seat when he goes to an event, because that assuming you come to my church, I don't have a presidential seat there, but I'll give you a seat for somebody who is a top person, okay, a president. I'll give honor to you, but not bringing your chair, your chair to my president. Why? Maybe he's partnered with something. Who knows? Maybe he's suffering from something, and that's why he needs to get a very good, comfy chair, which he has got. So he has to travel with that. What do you think about that? Interesting. That can only happen in Ghana, you know, or on the African continent. Coming your way. Fix the Country campaigners file petition to remove EC over Sal Saga. Remember I did talk about that, was it last Friday when we were having a program? I think we were discussing with Coach Joe and Frank, and I was talking about the Sal issue. I'm saying that, well, we were talking about democracy, celebrating Democracy Day, and then we were saying, but up to now, the Sal area have not got a representative in Parliament. Well, this time around, fix the country. They say fix yourself. They said they're going to see to fix that. What do you think about that? Welcome your way from Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Well, Kufado's relatives didn't use the presidential jet for shopping in UK. If the presidential jet is not airworthy for the president to fly in it, do you think that he will let his family fly in that? Or fly on that? Well, somebody would say that, well, he wants a special treatment, but this is a presidential jet, and therefore, definitely, there is that luxuriness in there. Maybe not as the one that has been, of late, being hired by the state to fly the president. But what do you think about all that? In a country where we are so desperate, where transport fares is set to go up by 40% from January 17th. We live life of opulence as if we are in the Saudis or something. Okay, or we are the Queen or the Royals in the UK. And what do you think about all that? We'll be looking at it more in details. Enjoy the rest of the song, and I'll bring you after a quick commercial break. Then I'll bring you the update from Nigeria. 8 minutes past the top of the hour at a time. Starr Radio UK, the station, the morning show, the program. Of course, I am Archie. Like I said, I'll be joined by Mr. Frank Davis virtually this morning. So stay tuned and don't you go away. Can I get some horns?
This is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission-free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Starr, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Tune in to On Point here on Starr Radio UK with Empress Regina every Monday at 5 p.m. GMT. Looking forward to your company.
Welcome back to the program. It's now gone 10 minutes past the top of the hour, and now let me bring you updates from Nigeria. Now, interestingly, a few stories making the rounds there. Nigeria-Japan partner to launch startup incubation program for the youth, and Janemena reveals the part of Maliku ECOWAS leaders go tough, close all borders, recall ambassadors, and freeze assets. Now, interestingly, when we come to the discussions, I want to find out from you, what do you think about that? Now, did they try to address what caused this coup to take place? Have they touched on it at all? Or the fact that this group of the military decided that with what is going on in the country, it's not something that we have to sit and fold our arms, but then we need to crack the whip, and because of that, they are facing these sanctions. Anything that is right? Yeah, I want to know what your take is on that front. So please feel free to send us your comments or your thoughts about what we are discussing there. 6 pictures die as NCDC. Some of the updates that is going to come in, I'm going to bring you details of in a moment. Going on there. And then IPOP reveals. Yes, I'll be telling you more what IPOP is revealing there. All going to be coming your way from Nigeria as well. And Buhari regime should make short-term plans to balance budget. And who is speaking? I'll be telling you more on that front as well. But one final story, headline before we go into details of the stories making the rounds across Niger area. Okay. Alright then, so now let's start from this point. Speaking against evil is not an act of disobedience. There is a story that has been captured by the Tribune newspaper in Nigeria. Now, what is good becomes bad when it's done at the wrong time. Also, it is good to be hushed and silent, but when you are silent and still when you are to speak out, silence becomes bad. Sleep is good, but when done at the wrong time, it becomes bad. It is good to rest at home, but when you rest at home at the wrong time, it becomes bad. Furthermore, it is good to catch fun, but when done at the wrong time, it becomes bad as well. It is good to spend money, but when it is not spent wisely and cleverly, it becomes bad. One of the stories that changed my life, the writer is saying, very early in life is a chronicle of King David history. Has it that he stayed back at home when the kings were to be fighting. Now please do understand. Now the writer seems to talk about what is happening in Nigeria, the fact that when people speak against government, when people speak or chastise what is being done, it's seen as being disobedience, evil. Speaking against that evil, the wrong thing that's going on, seem to be that, oh, these people are disobedient. Do you think that is the case? Do you think that is the case? I would love to hear from you on that front. But let's move on. Let's move on to some other stories making the rounds with updates from Nigeria. Bring the time now to 14 minutes past the top of the hour. Now, Buhari regime should make short-term plans to balance budgets. Tope Fasua says. Now, an economist, Tope, has urged President Muhammadu Buhari's regime to make short and medium-term plans to balance the country's annual budget and even achieve a budget surplus. Can that ever happen? Mr. Fasua Mr. Fasho gave the suggestion on Sunday in Abuja. He commended the regime for proposing the 17.1 trillion naira budget, adding it was a step in the right direction. Now, it is commendable that government is responding to suggestions that our annual budget should be larger, considering per capita and in view of devaluation of the naira. 17 trillion naira is still not enough, but it's a step towards the right direction, Mr. Fasua explained. The government should be thinking of balancing the budget at some point and have surplus budget at some point. The economic expert further urged Mr. Buhari's regime to take concrete steps to boost its revenue generation to reduce budget deficits. Now, more such initiatives will gradually reduce deficit budgeting and also reduce borrowings to fund the budget. Now, we can also look at taxation. Nigerians pay the lowest taxes, like VAT relative to most of other countries. We seem to be resisting every attempt of government to generate revenue, added Mr. Fasua. The recently introduced tax on carbonated drinks is commendable, but government should have been a bit more aggressive with it. Really? Okay. Now, meanwhile, a financial expert, Okechukwu Enegbu, says the 17.1 trillion 22 budget was realistic considering the country's population. However, Mr. Onegbu, past Chartered Institute of Bankers of Nigeria's president, decried the huge deficit in the budget and the dependence on loans to fund it. Now, our debt service ratio is high. We are putting almost 70% of our earnings on debt. This is worrisome, he said. He urged the regime to look inwards by encouraging production and value addition to the country's various natural resources, reducing importation and encouraging consumption of locally made products. Now, interestingly, my question that I will be asking here is, we talk about widening the tax net and all that, but do we talk about the wastage in the systems? I'm not talking about only Nigeria. You go to Ghana and the wastage. Now, we have people who have been employed in the government sector, okay? And you go to the Ghana ministries, you want something done. And you go for days and days and days, and the letter is sitting on maybe a clerk's desk and has not been worked on. It's not because the person is so or too busy to see to that. No, it's because the person wants you to maybe give them something else, to grease their palms, as some will say, or give them a brown envelope before they embark on moving or pushing your document or whatever you want to the next stage for it to be worked on. And then you go there as well. You have people sitting not doing anything. So we waste so much time, yet we pay individuals for not doing nothing. So when we are telling other people, okay, now we want you to be, we want to widen the tax net. So we are talking about people who are not necessarily are working with the states, but are private entities, individuals who go to the market to be trading, doing their little trade. Now we want to take from them. But the wastage in the system, what have we done about it? That is one of my worries, and that's one of the things that I wanted to look at when we come back to the discussions this morning. Wherever you are, don't you go away. We're still looking at some of the stories making the rounds in Nigeria with updates from Nigeria. 19 minutes by the top of the hour at the time. It is Starr Radio UK and the Monday edition of the morning show. And the union, Saniolu, has pledged that government's sincerity in the implementation of all that was agreed on to the delight of the representatives of nurses. Saniolu met Lagos nurses with the crisis. Now it goes on further to say, Saniolu pledged, let me move on to the next line. Now, we prioritize quality healthcare delivery in Lagos State, and our nurses are very important to achieving our objective, he said there. But the question is, are the nurses being given the necessary support that they need? On his part, the chairman, Lagos State Council of Nigerian Association of Nurses and Midwives, Mr. Olurotimi Wajide, thanked Governor Sanwo-Olu for acceding to most of their requests. Now, Wajide described the governor as a true leader and a father who cared about his children. He promised to call an emergency congress of the association on Monday, where the union will announce its decision to call off the planned industrial action. Recall the Lagos State Council has ordered its members to embark on a 3-day warning strike from January 10 over unmet demands by the Lagos State government. So the state governor decided to take the wind out of their sails by just going to have a meeting with them and say, look, what are things that you put across? We are going to look into that and try to see whether we can meet you there. What about that? So that's a good one. He's been a good leader, isn't he? Well. He's looking at the fact that could impact people negatively, or people in that particular state negatively, and the country as a whole. But well, what do you think about all that? Now, 6 more patients die. Okay, just a moment. Okay. Listen to Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. So moving on. 6 more people have died of complications related to COVID-19, the Nigerian Center for Disease Control reported on Monday. The story says that the NCDC revealed that this while giving an update on the management of the disease in the country, saying 537 more cases have been confirmed. It explains that the new infection were reported in 7 states and the Federal Capital Territory. They include Rivers State 303, Lagos 178, FCT 19, Kaduna 11, Gombe 6, Ogun 6, Ekiti 3, and Abia 1. Now, following the new infection reported, Nigeria has now confirmed the total of 248,312 since it reported its cases in February 2020. Of the cases confirmed, 997 people who initially tested positive have been discharged, and 3,077 deaths have been recorded in all 36 states and the FCT. While the NCDC said it has collected and tested a total of 3.8 million samples, the country has 26,238 COVID cases that are still active. So, well, those are some of the stories making the rounds there as well. It's all coming your way from Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. All right, then. Now, let's move on to the final segment of the updates from Nigeria. And this is from the IPOB. Now, IPOB has revealed why President Buhari rescinded his decision on Nnamdi Kanu's release. So, why? The indigenous people of Biafra has stated that while President Muhammadu Buhari rescinded his decision to consider the release of its leader Nnamdi Kanu in a political solution when some Igbo leaders paid him a visit, the separatist group revealed that some saboteurs and foreign-based traitors within its ranks are the ones forcing the president not to release Nnamdi Kanu. The reaction follows a recent statement by President Buhari during an interview where he said that he would not interfere in the judicial process, but that the IPOB leader should rather answer to the allegation leveled against him. Now, this was made known in a statement on Sunday issued by IPOB's Media and Publicity Secretary, Mr. Emma Powerful, where he claimed that the alleged saboteurs and traitors held a meeting with Buhari and advised the president not to release Kanu. Now, IPOB in the statement also claimed that the enemies of freedom struggle after meeting the president in Aso Rock misinformed him that the separatist organization and the Eastern Security Network, the ESN, has been defeated. The group who asked the president to consider his stance on the release of Nnamdi Kanu, advising not to be deceived by what is described as black legs and sagged members of the movement who are feeding him with fake information about IPOB and the ESN for pecuniary interest. Now, IPOB in their statement warned the federal government against the dangers of its continuous interruption with the judicial process in the case against Kanu, saying if it was sure of its allegation against IPOB leader, it should not be afraid of allowing the court to operate freely and independently. The statement said IPOB partly raised our intelligence captured what transpired. Okay, it is Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. We're going to take a break, and once we come back, we continue with the show. Stay tuned. Don't you go away.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission-free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Starr, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Tune in to On Point here on Starr Radio UK with Empress Regina every Monday at 5 p.m. GMT. Looking forward to your company.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Are you looking for the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy door-to-door shipment company? Well, look no further. When was the last time your family received a shipment back in Ghana on time and in time? You are not sure? Well, Lamb Shippers, we pride ourselves with being the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy shippers you can use. You are assured of prompt pickup anywhere in the UK by our personnel. They also make sure your items are well packaged to get to its destination in time. When it comes to door-to-door shipment, look no further. Well, Lamb Shippers, contact us on 07939009321 or 07498911820. Or you can visit our website www.welllamp.co.uk. You can also drop us a mail, info@welllamp@gmail.com. Well Lamp Shippers, fast, reliable, and trustworthy.
Check me out. He tells me my energy is making him tired.
Yes!
How do you get the energy to do
I've been told that I have a lot of energy, but my goodness, I think today I have met my match, people. I have met my match, Miss Suzanne. Wow, amazing.
One of the things that's the start of the darkness. Of darkness.
So what did that
Myself and the world in adjustment. And 2019.
Forget the proverbial boardroom. Join me, Simone Frazier, on the CEO, the program that gives you the driving seat over your life. Every Tuesday, 8 p.m. only on Starr Radio.
Hi there. Are you dreaming of owning your own house in Ghana? Then you will need a well-documented piece of land that is free from troubles. I highly recommend My Africa Property for any size of land that you will need. With My Africa Property, lands are available in Pram, Sopoli, Tohenia, Ogome, Dodova, Winneba, and many other locations at affordable prices. These locations are about an hour away from the airport, only 35 minutes from the motorway, 10 minutes drive from Central University College, 10 minutes drive to the beach, and close to Pram Senior High School and Ghana Men's Soccer Center of Excellence. For more details, visit our website www.myafricaproperty.com or call our UK office on 0208 123 2523. For our US and Canada offices, call us on +1 585 184 994145. You can also email us at ghana@myafricaproperty.com.
Hello, lovely listeners. Tune in to the renewed show with Charlotte. Make it a date to listen to me this and every Thursday at 5 p.m. on Starr Radio UK. Tune in to an hour of power, an hour of encouragement, an hour to inspire you to stay positive and strong in this season. See you there and listen.
Getting onto the property ladder has never been easy until now. Join us this and every Thursday from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. live on the Property Hour Show on Starr Radio UK, where we talk to mortgage brokers, property developers, estate agents, landlord, tenant, property consultants on how to invest or get into the property business and make money. You can't afford to miss this. The Property Hour Show is your best source into the property industry.
Welcome to Gabby Dave Global. We are a UK-based online e-commerce store, the first of its kind with license to trade in African products. Some of the products are clothing brands and all beauty accessories, hair and beauty brands, natural aphrodisiacs, processed and dried unprocessed food. Our mission at Gabby Dave is to connect African and Caribbean businesses to customers globally. At Gabby Dave, we ensure our sellers get the best deal for their products. We are not just here to help you reach a wider audience. We are also a distribution center to support business growth by fulfilling orders to your customers from our warehouse, making sure customers receive their products on time. We are inviting all Black-owned businesses to trade on our platform because we strongly believe Africans have a unique brand the customer would appreciate globally. So get in touch today and let us make your product and business go far. Here are some of the benefits of using Gabby Dave Global. User-friendly platform, track your shipment, online support, transparent process, multiple SKUs, multiple products, a platform that encourages manufacturers as well as traders. Our marketing and PR interventions amplifies yours. Organized products and categories for easy access and navigation. Access to global community, especially within UK and Europe.
Welcome back to the program. It is Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London, bringing the time now to 11:33. And that was the updates from Nigeria. Hope that you enjoyed it as well. But now let's look at some of the stories making the rounds across the globe. As I did say earlier on, do you have any comment pertaining to what took place in Nigeria, or yes, the updates? You feel free to share it with us as well. Do you think the IPOP notion about why the president is rescinded in his decision to release Nnamdi Kanu is right? But you know, when there is infighting, when you have a divided front, I can tell you for sure that you're not going to go far at all. And that seems to be the trend. That seems to be what is happening here. But what do you think? Yes, let us hear from you on these issues. Okay, now let's come back to the UK. Don't you worry, I'll bring you some music during the course of the program. But remember, at 12:45, we'll be going to Cyprus, where we have our own HRH Linda Pallien, who will be joining us on Career 101. Okay, now celebrations review for the Queen's Platinum Jubilee. Yes, so we're going to be having some nice Jubilee celebrations for the Queen. Now, Buckingham Palace has unveiled the full line-up of celebrations to mark the Queen's Platinum Jubilee this year. Now, street parties, a concert with some of the world's biggest entertainment stars, and a chance to see the Queen's homes up close are all part of the plan to mark her 70th year on the throne. Now, it will culminate in a 4-day UK bank holiday weekend from the 2nd to the 5th of June. The first event begins on Monday with a competition to invent a new pudding to celebrate the Queen's reign, and that's today, Monday, today, the 10th. Okay, so that's why I was saying that we got some of our kind who are very good cooks. Oh my goodness, those who bake and do all that stuff. Yeah, there is an opportunity for you. Who knows? Remember back in the day, those of you who are Bible scholars, remember Queen Esther? Well, she wasn't from that particular territory. They were foreigners and on those lands. However, it happened that when the contest was done, the beauty contest was done, she managed to outwit everybody and then became the queen for that land after Vashti decided that she didn't want, or the king decided to sack Vashti as her as the wife, okay, or as a queen. Now, so maybe you take opportunity of this contest. It might open doors for you. So please, if you are listening to me, challenge yourself. Do it. If you don't get anything out of it, after all, you tried, you didn't get, so what? Okay? Yeah, but it's good to try. It's good to try. Now, so it goes. Finalists will be judged by an expert panel, including Dame Mary Berry and Master Chefs Monica Galetti. Are you scared of them? Don't you worry. Hire me. I will come with you. Yes, I'll stand by you and we will show them where power lies. Yeah? Okay, so make sure you do so. But the winning recipe will be made available to the public, and the pudding will be enjoyed at big Jubilee lunches during the bank holiday weekend. So it's going to be a big party. Are you going to be joining? On the 6th of February, the Queen will become the first British monarch to celebrate a platinum jubilee, marking a 70-year reign. A series of celebrations will take place throughout the year. Now I got nice pictures here showing the Queen and the late Prince Philippe. Okay, as with the Queen's Golden and Diamond Jubilees, the first week in June has been chosen for the celebratory weekend, with the summer offering a better chance of good weather than February. To create 4-day weekend, the late May Spring Bank Holiday will be moved to the 2nd of June. So we will not have a May bank holiday. They will move it. They'll move it to the 2nd of June, and an additional one of bank holiday on the 3rd of June created as well. It is not clear which event of the Queen will attend herself. Now, she was advised by her medical team to rest for several weeks after an overnight hospital stay in October. The majority of the Jubilee duties will likely be given to the rest of the family, including the heir to the throne, the Prince of Wales, alongside his wife, the Duchess of Cornwall. The Jubilee will be the Queen's first without her husband, the Duke of Edinburgh, who died in April last year. It is going to be puddings, parties, parade, pageant in honor of the Platinum Jubilee. There isn't really a template for celebrating a British monarch's 70 years reign because it's not happened before. So she's been the longest reigning queen or king of the United Kingdom, or should I say England or Britain? Which is which? Okay, in this current bleak mid-COVID winter, the Jubilee offers the warming prospect of a 4-day bank holiday in June, which with concert parties and pubs open until 1 a.m. The Platinum Pudding competition is in the tradition of royal-related dishes like coronation chicken, invented by the Queen's coronation in 1953. So expect a lot of trifling puns as well. The celebrations are also a reminder of how much the Queen has been a constant figure. A recent study shows 85% of the population she's the only monarch they've ever known. Of course, Of course, if you are as who are not as old as that has been the only queen that we've known. So the dad, the uncle, and all the granddad, those things we don't know them. Okay, so on the 10th of January, this is the plans for you. The 10th of January, the platinum pudding competition starts. Members of the public are invited to create a dish to dedicate to the Queen's reign. From the 12th to the 15th of May, more than 500 horses and 1,000 performers will take part in a 90-minute show at Windsor Castle, taking the audience on a journey through history from Elizabeth I to present day. The first day of the long weekend is Thursday, the 2nd of June, and we'll see Trooping the Colour held in full for the first time since the pandemic. There will be more than 1,400 parading soldiers, 200 horses, and 400 musicians taking part. Tickets are available to the public from next week. So follow closely next week. If you want to be part of it, please make sure you go. Yeah, it would be nice to get it for your children, you know. Let them enjoy that. That would be nice. On Friday, the 3rd of June, the second day of the bank holiday weekend, a service of Thanksgiving for the Queen's reign will be held at St. Paul's Cathedral. And then on Saturday, the 4th of June, there will be a platinum party at Buckingham Palace where members of the public will be invited to apply to attend a live concert performance. Performers have yet to be named, but it's billed as bringing together some of the world's biggest stars to celebrate the most significant moment from the Queen's 7-decade reign. The ballot for UK residents to secure tickets will be launched in February. So keep an eye. As and when it comes up, I will be bringing it your way. Then on Sunday, the 5th of June, people across the country will be invited to sit down together to take part in the big Jubilee lunch with street parties held across the UK that day. That day event will also include the Platinum Jubilee pageant, which will feature 5,000 people from the UK and the Commonwealth performing around the area of Buckingham Palace. The palace promises pomp and ceremony, street arts, theatre music, circus, costumes, as well as cutting-edge visual technology. Now, primary and secondary school children are invited to create a picture of their hopes and aspirations. In July, 3 displays marking the Queen's accession to the throne, the coronation and the jubilees will be put on at Buckingham Palace, Windsor Castle, and the Palace of Holyrood House. It will include portraits as well as the jewelry and outfits, one for each occasion. So that is a lineup of what is going to happen during that time. You want to know more, but I'm encouraging parents. Your children have not seen anything of that sort. Those of you here especially, get your hands on the ticket, get yourself into the raffle, and then you know what, get them out there, let them experience it. I want to say, well, if there's going to be the chariot ride of the chariot and stuff like that, let's see where all this gold came from. Yes, I rest my case there. All right, then. This one coming your way from Starr Radio UK. 17 minutes to the top of the hour at the time, the morning show, the program. Okay, now firms have been told to remove unsafe cladding. Now, if you're living in a high-rise building and it's more than between 11 to 18 meters, you could be facing the developers coming in to say they have to remove it. If they fail to do so, well, they could be facing a criminal charge there. The housing minister said he will be absolutely willing to use legal rules to make builders pay for the removal of unsafe cladding from lower height buildings. Now, Michael Gove has written to firms, giving them until March to agree a plan to protect leaseholders trapped in unsellable homes. So far, residents in block 11 to 18 meters high have been ineligible for government support to remove unsafe cladding. It has left many with crippling bills. Mr. Gove said some companies have shown leadership and covered the cost, but others had not shouldered their responsibilities. It is neither fair nor decent that innocent leaseholders, many of whom have worked hard and made sacrifices to get a foot on the housing ladder, should be landed with bills they cannot afford to fix problems they did not cause, he said in a letter to developers in England and Wales. For too many of the people living in properties your industry has built in recent years, their homes has become a source of misery. The minister is expected to make a statement to the House of Commons later today. But if you want to know more about what what you have to do if you are caught in this particular circumstance, please make sure you join Mr. KB Bossman and Vicky Newton on Thursday when they come out. They come with a property show, because they'll be touching on all those things. The cladding. If you're a developer or you are a leaseholder, you bought a property and now you can't sell it, because if I'm going to buy a property, a flat, and I look at it and I say, wow, what is that? Is that the cladding, the one that can bend, the graphic cladding? Nah, I don't want to know. Well, you want to know more about that? Make sure you join them on that program, and they will educate you what steps you have to take to see to it that your issues or your concerns are addressed. It is Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Now let's talk about health issues. Now, most pregnant women are saying that we don't want to take the vaccine, but it ended up that when most of them are admitted in hospital for COVID, we find out that they've not been vaccinated, and that's why most of them are there. But you just have to, remember you are carrying a baby, okay? So, the issue is pregnant women are being urged not to delay getting their COVID jab or booster in a government campaign. More than 96% of pregnant women admitted to hospital with COVID symptoms between May and October last year were unvaccinated, according to the UK obstetric surveillance system. The campaign will share testimonies of pregnant women who have had jab on radio and social media. The government said the vaccine was safe and had no impact on fertility. Okay. In December, the Joint Committee on Vaccination and Immunization added pregnant women to the priority list for the vaccine, saying they were at heightened risk from COVID. Around 1 in 5 pregnant women admitted to hospital with the virus needed to be delivered preterm to help them recover, and 1 in 5 of their babies needed care in the neonatal unit. The Department of Health and Social Care has said, now since April 2021, mothers Since April 2021, mothers to be have been offered the Pfizer, BioNTech or Moderna jab. Now, around 84,000 pregnant women have received 1 dose, and more than 80,000 have received 2 doses of a COVID-19 vaccine since then. The department have said at the beginning of the UK vaccine program, the advice was for pregnant women to be offered vaccines if they were in high risk group or at high risk of exposure. Professor Lucy Chappell, chief scientist or advisor to the DHSC, said today that a third of unvaccinated pregnant women with COVID-19 needed help with breathing, and 1 in 6 were admitted to intensive care. Now, we've also seen stillbirths and neonatal deaths in the latest wave, she said. Professor Chappell said the vaccines cause pregnant women to produce antibodies against the virus, which cross over to their babies and give them protection too. That's what I'm saying, that if you find yourself, you are carrying, mothers to be, you are a mother to be, then please, as is being advised, we will also urge you to go in for it rather than you getting ill. Unless, of course, you want to tell me that you're going to be isolating all through the term before. But I know that will not happen, because if you want to nip out to go get something, or what do you do under such circumstance? Well, others have gone in, they've been okay. Yes, I'm not saying that everybody is going to go in, go get the vaccine, and there are a few people that we've known, we've spoken to, who have had adverse reactions from that. But who knows? It's better to be safe than sorry. What about that? It's all coming your way from Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Another last story from the UK pertaining to health and pertaining to COVID as well. Interestingly, natural defenses against a common cold could offer some protection against COVID-19. COVID-19 too, research have suggested. The small-scale study published in Nature Communications involved 52 individuals who lived with someone who had just caught COVID-19. Now, those who had developed a memory bank of specific immune cells after cold to help prevent future attacks appeared less likely to get COVID. Now, experts say no one should rely on this defense alone, and vaccines remain key. But they believe that their findings could provide a useful insight into how a body's defense system fights the virus. Now, COVID-19 is caused by a type of coronavirus, and some colds are caused by other coronaviruses. Okay, so when you get cold, there's some kind of coronaviruses, but maybe a less dangerous one. Okay, and it says so. Scientists have wondered whether immunity against one might help with the other. So maybe if you get COVID or Omicron, maybe you won't catch cold, or if you get you catch cold, you get the flu or something, you will not get. Who knows? Okay. But the experts caution that it would be a grave mistake to think that anyone who had recently had a cold was automatically protected against COVID-19, as not all are caused by coronaviruses. Okay? Now, the Imperial College London team wanted to understand better why some people catch COVID after being exposed to the virus and others do not. You see, well, they focused their study on crucial parts of the body's immune system, the T cells. Some of the T cells kill any cells infected by a specific threat, for example, a cold virus. And once the cold has gone, some T cells remain in the body as a memory bank, now ready to mount a defense when they next encounter the virus. In September 2020, researchers studied 52 people who had not yet been vaccinated but who lived with people who had just tested positive for COVID-19. Half of the group went on to get COVID during the 28-day study period and half did not. A third of the people who did not catch the COVID were found to have high levels of specific memory T cells in their blood. Now, these were likely to have been created when the body had been infected with another closely related human coronavirus, more frequently a common cold, they say. Researchers accept other variables such as ventilation and how infectious their household contact was would have an impact on whether people caught the virus too. Well, Dr. Simon Clark at the University of Reading said, although this was a relatively small study, it added to the understanding of how our immune system fights the virus and could help with future vaccines. So this is where we bring to a close the story that is making the rounds in the UK. But it's all Starr Radio UK. I'm going to take a break, and once I come back, we're going to be looking at Djokovic. So, well, I had COVID on the 16th of December, so you know I can't have a vaccine yet, even if I wanted to. All right, because say 28 days before you can do so. Okay, and then Kazakhstan unrest. They said then the president said that was a coup d'etat. It was a coup d'etat. Growing reports violence linked to power struggles. I'm not saying that it's a power struggle in there. So it looks like a Pallien coup that was taking place. But when you think about all that, we'll be looking at that as well. New York apartment block fire kills 19. And then Aung San Suu Kyi. She's got a first sentence. That is 4 years. That one is for what? Is it for the Motorola that she was using? Or communication gadget that she was using? Bypassing the military? How many sentence or charges are they going to level against her? And is she going to be found guilty? You know? Well, there's a lot more we're going to be looking at. Stay tuned, don't you go away. 6 minutes on the top of the hour. Exactly at 12 o'clock, the lines will be open for you to add your voice to the discussion. Stay tuned. and enjoy the show.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission-free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Tune in to On Point here on Starr Radio UK with Empress Regina every Monday at 5 p.m. GMT. Looking forward to your company.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go from Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Worldwide, online 24/7. Worldwide, online 24/7.
You worry, you make it double, don't worry.
Enlighten your day with
Be happy, don't worry, be happy.
You are listening to Starr Radio.
Don't worry, be happy. Don't worry, be happy. Ain't got no place to lay your head. Somebody came and took your bed. Don't worry, be happy. Yeah, the landlord says your rent is late. May have to litigate. Don't worry,
This is Starr Radio.
be happy.
In your car, at home,
On your smartphone.
ready to turn it up.
Don't worry, be happy. Don't worry, be happy.
This is Starr Radio UK.
Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
About a thing, 'cause every little thing
Starr Radio.
is gonna be alright. Don't worry about a thing, yeah. 'Cause every little thing is gonna be alright. Rise up this morning, smile with the rising sun. Three little birds
In your car,
work,
at home,
on your smartphone.
singing sweet songs.
This is Starr Radio UK.
Of melodies pure and true. Say yeah, yeah. This is my message to you.
Are you ready to turn it up?
About a thing. 'Cause every little thing is gonna be alright.
Well, don't worry about a thing, because everything is gonna be all right. Somewhere, somehow, they get all right. I don't know how it does, but hey, those of you who have people of faith, you said, well, God behind the scenes working on my behalf, and it turns situations around. Might be that for you. Maybe you don't believe in nothing, but somewhere, somehow, the powerful hand behind the scene seem to move the chairs around, and situations that seem to be unsurmountable get done. Okay, so don't throw in the towel, don't lose hope, keep on keeping on. All right then, it is Starr Radio UK. It's gone 12 o'clock. As I said, the lines are open. Now you want to join the discussion, feel free to do so. You can call us on 0208 133 2257 or 58 0208 133 2257 or 58. If you're in the US or Canada or the Caribbean area, is 001-718-303-2737 001-718-303-2737. You can also text or WhatsApp us. It's 075-396-61744 075-396-61744. Our Twitter handle is a Starr Radio UK, and email address is info@starradiouk.com info@starradiouk.com. So make sure you still call us, but you can also Skype at us. Our Skype ID is Starr Radio UK 1. Starr Radio UK 1. I promise you, if you do, I'm going to read your message there as well. Okay, now remember, exactly at 12:45 we'll be crossing over to Cyprus, where we have our lady herself, HRH Linda Pallien, who will be joining us. Yes, she'll be joining us at 12:45, so make a date with her. All right, so now let's move on to other parts of the world and some of the stories that I did talk about earlier on. Now, since last week, we've had this information or this banter going on. But Djokovic may be psychologically affected. That's what Bartoli is saying. The UK Prime Minister. Okay, let me just take it all. I'll bring you all the gist of what they have said about the Djokovic story. Now, former Wimbledon champion Marion Bartoli has said that Novak Djokovic will physically ready to compete at the Australian Open, which starts on the 17th of January, but he may be mentally drained after the events of the past few days. She goes on further to say, I think he can work his way through the first week and build his momentum towards the second week. It is more or how mentally and psychologically he will be affected by all of these, she said. He is really his best when he is under pressure and a tougher circumstance, but it is more about how the crowd are going to react. If he has the whole stadium against him booing or whatever, how much is that going to affect him? That's a question that was posed. It's really hard to tell in advance. Of course, Djokovic may not get the tennis court, may not get to the tennis court. His visa will still be cancelled by the Australian government. The UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson was asked if he would allow Djokovic to play at the Wimbledon this summer. Johnson replied, "It is important for the Australian authorities to make their own depositions. All I will say about Novak Djokovic, against whom I've played tennis, by the way, he's pretty good, is I believe in vaccination And I think it is a wonderful thing to do. He continued, I think everybody should get behind the program that is allowing this country to be the most open economy in Europe and simultaneously protect people and down the land, up and down the land. It has massive advantage. Under the current UK rules, unvaccinated people arriving in the UK must have a negative pre-departure test, take a PCR test on day 2 and day 8 after arrival. The quarantine for 10 days. The test to release scheme is still an option to those who want to shorten their isolation period. Yes, the test to release scheme. Okay, I know why I said that. Well, but still on the Djokovic. Now the Telegraph chief sports writer Oliver Brown believes that the visa dispute could enhance Novak Djokovic's performance at the Australian Open should he be able to complete. It could be quite ugly, the atmosphere at the moment. Assuming he does compete, he will have a lot of support. There were Serbian supporters doing vigils for him outside the hotel where he was being detained. But you have to say, in terms of his performance, that could enhance it. We are talking about one of the most mentally resilient athletes there has ever been. You wouldn't put anything past Djokovic. He seems to feed off that adversity where other players might have buckled under this ordeal already and happily taking the next flight home. He appears determined to stay and fight this. On the political side of things, Brown predicted that Australian Prime Minister Scott Morrison was not going to take this lightly. So what is going to be the case? Is Scott Morrison going to order that his Home Secretary deports him, or what? But the question is, there are Australians who have been quarantined or locked down. Let me put it, locked down instead, for a long time because of this virus. And if a foreigner comes in and then he is allowed in because he is a tennis player or it's a superstar, call it whatever you want to, then people will think that, okay, so that is discrimination. So you see where the government is coming from. That's why they have to flex their muscles like that. But maybe the move is wrong. But if it's wrong, then what did they do on that front? There's election looming. So everybody wants to take their stand to make sure that, well, what is going to happen? What is going to happen will be that, well, whatever has happened, they are going to make sure it benefits their campaign when it comes to this COVID. So what is Scott Morrison's team going to say about it? Well, it is Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. As I said, we are going to be joined by Mr. Frank Davis. He's turning his camera up and down, but don't you worry, we can see him. He's now on the sides. He has to turn it another one, then he becomes straight. Don't you worry at all. Yes, he's now straight. Now we can see him. Yes. That's a good one there. Yes, he came from Ghana a couple of weeks ago. Now we know which of the moves that he used to get himself free to be able to move around. Maybe if Djokovic had used that one, maybe that would have helped him. But what do you think about all that? It is all Starr Radio UK. But let me go to Frank and let me say, Frank, good afternoon to you.
Yeah, Archie, good morning, and good morning to our listeners, our viewers, wherever they might be. It's afternoon anyway.
Yeah, it's afternoon. So somebody said, this man is he in quarantine? That's why he's saying.
No. But nature has a way of restricting people sometimes.
Yeah.
So today, nature has actually asked that
you'll be restricted at home.
I've been restricted at home. You see. How are you yourself?
Yeah, I'm doing very well. Thank you. Nice to see you. So far, I've touched on a few of the stories. If you want to capture on any one before we move on to the others, feel free to do so.
The issue about Nigeria is what concerns a lot of people now. Like we've always said. Interestingly enough, today we are hearing that ECOWAS has decided to suspend a member, Mali, and withdraw use of ambassadors. Here's the case: we have the powerhouse which should pull all of us along, still in a mess. So if we still have a Nigeria not showing, what moral right do we have to go and be telling people how to run their country?
That's a big question there. Yeah.
Are we just doing it because of protocol? If we say protocol, what did we do when, for instance, Ouattara was changing the constitution, manipulating it?
Yeah.
So for me, I think if I'm a Malian today, I think we should declare today as a national party day, because at the end of the day, the ECOWAS itself has proven that basically they are an irrelevant body, and Nigeria, which should be the powerhouse, has proven that they're incapable of even governing or running their own affairs. Talk less telling us, our neighbors, what to do. If, for instance, the foreign Western country like US, the UK come telling us, they've demonstrated that, look, our own affairs are being sorted out properly. That when we have a problem, we do have a way of resolving it. But here we are, Nigeria, we can't talk of any good thing to show. Ghana, we are in difficulty. The president was somewhere saying that he's built a resilient economy. Meanwhile, we know as a matter of fact that by March, if taxes are not increased, they're not going to be able to pay salary. So all around, you look at the sub-region and you don't see credible nations that should show. What is it? Cote d'Ivoire that is going to talk to Mali when they themselves are felt accused of breaking the constitution. So for me, that's the African story is especially the West Africa, and I keep on saying my view now in conclusion now is that the West Africa sub-region especially keeps on drifting back as compared to the eating and what do you call it, the Southern African countries especially when it comes to how to manage their own affairs.
It's interesting there. But I was asking the question, I mean, the issue, what is causing or what caused Mali to behave that way has not been addressed.
That is the issue. That is the issue. I think most of the African leaders are now, West African leaders are becoming authoritarians. They think this notion of, because we are an authority, whatever we say must hold. When we say we decree, it should be something that everybody respects.
They go to church. You decree a thing.
I mean, it's serious that the mentality which operates within the West African sub-region, for me, since our days that we have forgotten, authoritarian, Idi Amin kind of mindset. That's exactly what we do have. They think that, okay, because the president has said it, the minister has said it, that should be what you operate. I mean, life is not like that, and so far he's proven that he hasn't worked. He didn't work in Mali. He hasn't worked in Equatorial Guinea Conakry, and we shouldn't expect it to work somewhere. Nigeria is not working. It's not working. I mean, you look at this last week when you were touching on this story about Nigeria, where again the president was saying that Amatekun should be out of the way and the chiefs. I mean, that is patronage. I mean, that is patronage, because at the end of the day, the constitution as it was lined had no place for the chiefs to start be organizing this thing. Now, if in Ghana we have something we call the ASAFO, are the chiefs going to organize ASAFO? How are they going to equip them? Who is going to, basically pay those people? Are you going to put the burden? What state resources are you giving the chiefs to be able to do that? You're not turning the ASAFO to be a state police. I mean, are we not looking at a situation where we know tribes do have conflict, and that's how they occupy their territory? Are we not going to ignite old wounds? If someone claims to be basically probably someone from another village has entered our territory, we capture the person, the chief has said that, and the chief decree, I mean, take a Sharia law for instance, that they will say, okay, this person account for this, probably came to basically pursue a girl and therefore he should be castrated. How do you address those things? Are you getting me? But the president, knowing that he's failing, and knowing that they don't want to give power to the local authorities where his power also can be undermined a little bit, it's not say, we shouldn't do it, the chief should do it. I mean, the constitution made no room for chiefs to be the police over their own people. Yes, they are development partners, but that was an ill thought, of policy that he was trying to push. Now
let's talk about the air and land borders that have been shut in Mali. Now, do you think it can have any impact on them?
Actually, look, I was in Ghana when I was trying. In fact, I was planning to fly from Ghana to even Cote d'Ivoire and also Guinea Conakry. Actually, the cost of flight from Ghana to Cote d'Ivoire, Mali, is equivalent or even more than flying from Ghana to the UK. So I decided against it, right? So if you say air borders and other things, how many people fly from Mali? People who come from Mali to Ghana who 100% take they walk. Unless you're going to talk about the trucks, like those who come export and other things. What you're doing is you are going to enrich the border agency.
Oh yeah.
Because they're going to take bribes.
Yeah.
They're going to take bribes and lay them on. If I want to enter Ghana today from Togo, I can always enter Ghana from because from that stretch of from Keta area, Apla border, all the way through Volta, what do you call it, OT, all the way to the upper east. That long stretch, there are a lot of unapproved routes. There are a lot of unapproved routes that people who are determined can always walk in. Yes, you're going to talk about trucks and other things. Some of these trucks, when they come, you take money from them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're closing the border. If you take Ghana, for instance, a lot of Mali vehicles come to Tema to get their stuff.
Yeah.
Are you getting me? All you are saying
it will cost you as well. It will cost you as well.
You're depriving those. So do you think you are punishing them? No. No.
Interesting. Interesting. Well, listeners, it is Starr Radio UK. What is your take on that? With the sanctions that ECOWAS has placed on Mali, do you think it's going to have any impact at all? We want to know more about that. With me, it's Mr. Frank Davids, and I'm Archie here in the studios of Starr Radio UK. Frank in South London. Okay, now let's move on to some other stories that is making the rounds this morning. And the other one that has made the headlines is Djokovic winning a court battle. But after that verdict had been given, a few moments later, we had some more information coming through that they've gone back to arrest him. So I was quite, but it looks like that has not been the case. It's not been rearrested.
Yeah.
Do you think mentally he's got the agility to be able to say that, well, I'll be still contesting, and then you think that his prospect of winning is going to be there?
Yeah, I think this. This was in the game plan. Djokovic had made himself known publicly that he doesn't support the mass vaccination exercise, and people should be able to opt if they want to be jabbed or not. So basically, what he's doing is just not for his own sake, but I think it's a campaign that was launched and successfully they've won the case. Now, because medically there are a lot of questions around what the Australians are doing, a lot of health personnel. If you watch carefully, was it on Saturday or Friday? Sadi Javid, the health ministry over there, went to a hospital and a doctor confronted him and said, "Look, I have just had COVID. The immunity that I have, from my experience, I don't need what they call it. In fact, it's even advised that when you have COVID, you wait 90 days. That was the first. That was the advice that you wait for 90 days before you go for a vaccine, because they think that you have built good immunity enough. And in fact, the science itself tells us that when you get to 70% of the population having the disease, you've got to herd immunity. You shouldn't worry about it. And everything should tell us that they've jabbed over 90% of people, and therefore we go to herd immunity. If Australia have done that, then they should have no worry of Djokovic coming in. Now, this was a political stance that the Australian government also wanted to do, to show that we have control of our territorial borders. We are a sovereign nation, and when what we decree, everybody must comply. Actually, it hasn't worked for them, because at the end of the day, if the guy has proven, and according to the documents, that he had COVID on the 16th of September, and therefore was qualified for medical exemption, why then do you want to vaccinate him? Why must he be vaccinated against his will anyway? Besides, what risk does he pose to the Australians? That's it. The guy is coming in, test him. If you want to be testing him on a daily basis for him to pay, let him pay for that.
Yeah, he's going to
miss that he must take the vaccine before he. I mean, what does that mean? I get it. It doesn't make sense. It really, and UK, for instance, I've been now beginning to see the sense in that. I mean, compulsory vaccination, yeah, they will talk about it, but the compulsory vaccination is not something that they want to push. We are even being told, even lateral flow that was given to us for first. Listen, if you listen to us, please, this is a time to go and stock your lateral flow. Please stock a lot of them, because in a few months or in a few weeks time, you have to pay for that. You have to pay for that. Actually, I think we might have to order a lot. And stock. Yeah. So for me, I think it's a victory for him. As to whether he's going to be able to play this game, I think he's able to play it. At the end of the day, he's raised the argument, the debate about this vaccination well above the tennis days, and I think he's done it. Very well. Australians are still considering cancelling the visa because they say the Minister for Immigration can still use other avenues to cancel the. Now, if that is the case, then it means that even the reason they gave first that has been thrown out by the court was not exactly what the case is, and all they're interested in that to be able to prove that this is Australia, we decree this, and you have to comply and be more like a slave. Your own conscience, your everything about you should not win.
Well, listeners, Mr. Frank Davis for you. Now let's move on straight to Myanmar. According to Myanmar has sentenced outside leader Aung San Suu Kyi to 4 more years in prison in the latest of series of trials. Now she was convicted for the illegal possession of import of walkie-talkies and breaking COVID-19 rules. Ms. Suu Kyi was first convicted in December and given a reduced jail sentence for 2 years. Now, she's got a 4-year sentence on her. I was looking at that story and I was laughing. I thought, well, this is a typical example of what the Iranians can do. Like the Radcliffe lady, when you say you are almost done, they'll find another thing, then
another one on you.
Then you found guilty, you stay in there for life. Now, you're looking at the example that ECOWAS has set over the weekend with Mali. Do you think that the international community has done enough when it comes to Myanmar?
Archie, I think there's a sovereign state. There's a lot you can do. There are international agreements that bar countries directly for interfering. As to what they can do, I think they've gone as much as they can do. For instance, we understand that there are a lot of businesses that we're dealing with, companies controlled by the military. I think they've withdrawn their license from there. They do not do business with such organizations. There's much you can do, unless you want to physically get your presence over there, which will be a violation of the United Nations. So it's a very, very tough one. But you see, I think, the lady also is not being hurt because of her own behavior, in my view. Because when
the Muslim people in
those Muslims, I forgot, is that something Wundi or what they call them?
I've forgotten their names.
Her stand, the way she behaved, she stood by, allowed it to continue, defended the military, backed them fully. A lot of people were calling on her to act. A lot of people were calling on her that, look, do something different. You were supported all throughout your struggles. When you were in exile, people were supporting you. Demonstrations were organized in support of you. Finance was ready just to support you. A lot of arguments, lectures, intellectual, moving crossing just to protect your own safety and your own human right. Here are Rohingya people who are suffering. Being, basically taken away from where they reside. People being killed. Genocide being committed.
By the same military.
But what did she do? No. She came out, played politics with it, supported the people, not even say that I'm the leader, I want to see this stopped, I want to apologize for this, I want to come in and help. No, she supported it fully. So now the military are doing the same thing to you. Who should come and help you?
But doesn't this vindicate her from not taking any action? Because it looks like the military in Myanmar are so strong, so powerful, because she didn't even criticize them, and yet look at where she can find herself now.
Actually, the best she could have done, the best she could have done at that time was to keep quiet. Are you getting me? Keeping quiet was bad enough.
Yeah.
But for her to come back and justify that was a double whammy. Are you getting me? She could have kept quiet and probably would have all criticized her for keeping quiet. But to come publicly, justify defending the military, that for me was a no. And to be honest with you, I don't feel sorry for her. What she's going through, she deserves it.
Okay, let me say thank you very much to Felix. Yes, he says that Rohingya. Yeah, the Rohingya people. Thank you. That was right, the Rohingya people. Well, it's a sad thing there, but well, she is now caught in her own demise, because if she had acted, maybe now we have people rallying around her.
Because actually, excuse me, that was an opportunity for him, because the whole world was in support of the Rohingya people, right?
Yeah.
I think it was a great opportunity for the woman to break the back of the military.
Yeah.
Are you getting me?
Yeah.
That was a very good opportunity to be able to say, military, irrespective of how powerful you are, I am the leader of this country at this very point in time. This is not the way we should go. But she failed. I, to be honest with you, I do not feel sorry for her a bit.
Wow. Okay. Let's move on now. We've got about another 20 minutes to finish this session, and then we'll go to Cyprus, where we have HRH Linda Pallien all geared up to fire on Career 101. The Kazakhstan unrest, and they are trying to now call it or name it or label it a coup d'etat. Okay, the Kazakhstan president Kasim Jomart Tokayev has described deadly violence last week as an attempted coup d'etat. Now, he told leaders of the military alliance of ex-Soviet states their action had been coordinated by a single center, but did not name those responsible. President Putin said Kazakhstan had been targeted by international terrorism, but provided no evidence for this claim. However, there are some other school of thought or some other group who are analyzing the whole story and saying that there seems to be an infighting between among the ruling government. That is what is causing this. What is your take on that?
Yeah, actually, for countries that surround Russia, we know one thing: the West has tried and is continuously trying to destabilize those countries. They want to move them away. The Cold War era might be over, but we still are in that battle, whether we like it or not. And that evidence is saying what is happening in Poland, where they want to now erect their iron domes and other military hardware over there. We've seen the incursions that have been made towards Ukraine. Again, we understand that the West is considering absorbing Ukraine as part of the NATO neighbor, and we know what NATO neighbor says. If you attack one member, you attack all, which would have just given them that anytime there's a problem, Russia trying to intervene, you basically are looking at a third world war being started. Now, what do we do have with Kazakhstan issue? And I think people might disagree with Russia, but you see, if I ask myself, if I were Putin, what would I have done? Here's the case where should we allow protest, just like what happened in Hong Kong? Should we allow it to degenerate? People will look at it as a template to basically also stage similar stuff in my own country. Are you getting me?
Yeah.
And the law also, allows, if a president calls for help, we can go in and help. Are you getting me? But I do think that Russia has done nothing wrong. They basically have responded to what the president has called for. Now, why must it be in our place to decide when a group of people are called protested and when others are called terrorists? I am not in favor of the brutal repressal of the protesters. I do not think it's justified. I think the president and even the Russian forces went too far. I mean, a lot of people were killed. I do not justify any attack on any legitimate protest. But you see, I do believe that the West also get involved in some of these things too quickly. When there's protests going on, they're quick to issue support and other things for those protesters. Once you do that, I mean, the president, those who are not support of you, also think that, okay, you might be fueling this, or you are behind some of these things. I do think that, yes, economic hardships are real. We see it even in this country. And if in Ghana, for instance, we are told that Akufo-Addo has ordered that the benchmark reversal be suspended for some time, it becomes people are suffering. I mean, the economic conditions are so hard. And if a fuel increase are resulting in protests, I do not think that should call for killing. That should call for killing. But again, I think the West, especially the US, get too quickly involved in some of these things. And once you begin issuing statements in support of protests, so people think that, look, you are probably even funding the
protests or those who are going on.
And all they want to do is to come with brutal force to suppress whatever you might want to do. You know.
Okay, listeners, it's Starr Radio UK. Now let's launch straight to Ghana, because we've got about only 15 minutes and we've got some stories there that I want us to have a look at. Now, you visited Ghana quite lately. You came pretty quite recently. Now, the question is, the president, does he go everywhere with his own chair?
Archie, this has been a problem that some of us have complained about. Videos exist. I've seen them for myself. I've had opportunity to watch events live where the V8s have arrived and actually drop off the chair. I've watched events live when after the event the V8s have been driven to the base to basically take the chair out. There are different angles to this story. Gabriel Tridaku was issued a statement some time back and said that they carried the president's chair because they want to protect him from COVID. I thought it was a stupid comment to make. It was a silly justification for it. But that is what he said. That I'm just quoting that they do that. So that alone confirms that the president carries his chair, because he didn't bother to say that, oh, he doesn't carry his chair. He didn't want to debate it. He just said they do that to protect him from COVID. That's why he said. But actually, here's the case. The president goes to every radio station and carries his own chair. You can check on the interviews that he's done with certain media houses. There's always a chair that he carries. There's only 2 places in Ghana that he goes to without carrying a chair. If he goes to Otumfo's palace, he doesn't carry his chair.
Okay.
If he goes to what do you call it, or Chinhini's palace, he doesn't carry his chair. Those are the only 2 places that I've seen him during, especially last year, the year before during the campaign, last year, that he didn't carry his chairs. If he goes to where people sit on skin in the north, he still carries his chair. Okay.
Wow.
And then the question is, well, I don't know what he's protesting, what he's protecting, whichever prophecy or whatever. I mean, I don't know what is in it for him. If he is afraid of Kulungugu coming back to haunt, that probably a bomb will be planted probably underneath his chair. I don't know if that's what is haunting him. But the bottom line is that as taxpayers, that is where the issue is. It costs no less than $200,000.
Yeah, to buy a SUV. Yeah.
Okay. You then have to fuel it. You then have 2 people, the driver and the chair has its own protection unit. Right? Driving after the president just for him just to sit down. Actually, all of the driver will take per diem, you know.
Of course.
The security man will take per diem, right? Driving all the way to north Tamale, you're going to spend a lot of money that could build a borehole for someone.
Yeah.
Right? So actually, if we can have a president who can decide. I recall when he was looking for power. If you have grown better in London here, I have pictures when he was eating kenke, were there. He sat on the ordinary chair and was eating kenke. Levels don't change. He also said it himself.
Now I was thinking that maybe he has a medical condition and therefore this is a
medical condition. If it's a medical condition, they don't have any toilet underneath, and his trousers is not this. So if he has a running tummy, he can pass a stool over there. That's not what the chair is designed for.
Maybe
he has a medical condition.
Maybe it's
back.
Piles.
No,
maybe the back.
No, the back. Actually, that unless they have a massager in there that we don't know to stop him from sleeping. No, probably they might have something designed in there.
Something to tickle him and say,
he's pinching his back. He's pinching his back to stop him from sleeping. I mean, that could be the case. We don't know, but and we know those details. Even if we know those details, the bottom line here is: are we spending so much on a chair? And the answer is yes.
Yeah.
The taxpayer, do we have to? Even if anything, why doesn't they carry the chair in the same VA that he's sitting?
Yeah, because he sits. The back is free. They could just. I don't know what kind of.
So that's the question. Why don't they carry the chair in the same V8 that Akufo-Addo is sitting in? Why must the chair have its own V8? They go with pickups. Why don't they get a box or a metal box?
Yeah, right? A nice case to put box, it in.
Just like a flight case.
Yeah.
Put the chair in there and put it at the back of one of the police pickups. Why must we have a whole V8 carrying a common chair for the president? That to go sometimes he goes to the radio station 15 minutes, they move again. Actually, it's sickening. But this is how taxpayers' money is being used. So when they are telling you that e-leave you have to be into because the Ghana economy is broke, what do you call it? They come to say, well, the economy is solid, but I can tell you from authority that the government itself knows what. I mean, they had a meeting with NDC caucus. They pleaded with them, showed them with the books. They told them when I went at the speaker's office. I mean, they showed them the books that look, if we don't do certain things radical, I mean, we cannot even pay salary after March. Meanwhile, they are there telling the economy is robust.
That's why earlier on I was asking the question. Now Nigeria was trying to introduce some tax. I mean, they're trying to. Some economic experts were saying that they need to widen the tax net, and then and I was asking myself the question: have we addressed the issue of wastage in the system? Because we just using basket to go fetch water, and we said that, oh yeah, we have to now let's get a bigger basket. But the thing is, it's leaking. We're not solving that out. Yet we want to just take some more. So what are we being sensible about?
If you have, just take a country as a household, although you have competing interests where you have different children. Here's the case: a father always capturing his suits, and a father always will take a jolly ride. This time, not the apotroka, as they will call it, that we have in the house. The father going to church will go and hire a limousine to take him to church and back. The father going to a birthday party will take a limousine, go and come back. The father will go and hire the latest what they call lasers to take him and come back. Meanwhile, the father comes and says, look, all my children, the household income is going down. Whatever you've been eating, I need to cut down on your food a little bit so that percentage you give it back to the central office. I mean, Archie, your children will even try to poison you at night because at the end of the day, you are not being a father.
Yeah.
You are being. I mean, you are treating them like slaves. That all you want them to do is to fund your luxury lifestyle. Archie, if, for instance, the president or the government has come forward to say that, look, we are in this together. We are going to take certain drastic measures to make sure we pull together. Yes, when you were borrowing, people complained. You didn't listen. That bedding, listeners,
yeah.
Yeah, that burden is there. People are crying over it. Now, if you have come, say, okay, upon all this, we made certain mistake, but this is what we're going to do. The Jolly boys and the Guru boys at the presidency, I'm going to cut my staff down from a number of 1,006 to 900, or probably 1,000 as a startup. For the next 3 years, none of my staff is going to, and ministers is going to enjoy any, what do you call it, salary increase.
Yeah.
From now going, all ministerial travels to attend appointments are stopped. Any appointment needing a ministerial presence will be undertaken by what they call it, the representative, or what they call minister in the respective country, a consular minister or an ambassador somewhere. This is because we want to cut down waste. Are you getting me?
Yeah.
Now, from now going, all my ministers, and we're going to have a pool of Land Cruisers or V8. When they are going out of Accra into the countryside, they will sign on, take it, but inside they're going to use 2.0 liter VW cars or something cars or Castanca cars. Because V8, we're looking at 4.5 liters. Some are 5.0 liters.
Yeah.
And some of these people go, they have to turn on the air condition and be waiting the whole day for the minister, because ministers want to come back to the car when the car is so chilled. Are you getting me, Archie? If the president has come out to say, look, we're going to cut our expenditure, and because of that, or because of the way economy is, we're cutting our expenditure, we also are appealing to Ghanaians to do more. I don't think Ghanaians will be murmuring.
No.
I don't think a lot of us will be complaining. But here we are, rather than doing the needful, the president has gone to do the needless. They've increased the staffing, and they are increasing the staffing at the president's office.
Yeah.
Which we know, most of these guys are going to be for errands and political. Look, take the Sewa Bruni video that came. What business has Gobson Adoe got to be trailing a lady? Is that part of our taxpayers' money job? That he's paid by the president to go and trail a lady, organize to go and check her into a hotel room? Is that what we should be doing with our taxpayers' money? But this is what these Goro boys do at the presidency. And you have increased that number from 1,006 to 2,001.
Wow, 401.
You have increased it by 500 people more. Archie, you have increased your expenditure at the presidency by almost a 500 million Ghana cedis. You are increasing your contingency fund, money that should be approved by Parliament, that in case anything happens, the president can go and say, you don't need any approval again, to take. You've increased it from 350 million to 950 million. Within a year that you think that we should be paying more? When they were talking about your presidential travel and hire on reject, you see men coming here, and you now want Ghanaians to be, and you think we shouldn't complain? Look, as we speak now, we saw the Christmas tree controversy that is brewing in Ghana, where Paul Adomotri, in my view, has acted in a way that is irresponsible. First, because procurement, if the company is procuring something, should not be addressed to the board chairman. It should be addressed to the company, and the board chairman should not be having invoices delivered to him personally, because that's a conflict of interest. And again, that breaches procurement law, all the procurement laws over there. And again, he went and lied that, what do you call it, that they paid all the bonuses. Actually, I have a statement over here, which has been issued by the workers, and they are saying that since 2018, their bonuses have not been paid. 2018 to date, their bonuses have not been paid. Meanwhile, we have a board chairman sanctioning 125,000 to be used to buy Christmas tree. And you know the transportation cost between Jolu and airport?
How much is it?
Moving a Christmas tree from Jolu to airport, 3,005 Ghana cedis. Why are we using this in?
Well, is it like the tree that the Norwegians bring to the UK? Is it that size?
Actually, a Christmas tree.
It's just so common.
From Jolu to airport, 3,500 Ghana cedis as transportation cost. Why are we getting angels to come? Did we bring Santa from this to come and carry the tree? So when you listen to and you watch all these things and then they tell you to pay more, actually you ask yourself, why must I pay more?
Yeah.
If I went Ghana, I'll find a way of avoiding tax. Because I know the tax is not going to deliver anything. To be honest with you, I prefer to give my money to someone, a Kaya or someone sitting somewhere suffering, than paying into government coffers. And that's the truth.
Yeah, give it to charity directly rather than.
That's the truth.
Yeah. Wow. Listeners, it's Starr Radio UK. Yeah, we'll be running up pretty soon. But let's look at this AFCON. We know, I mean, it's one of the things that those who love football, it's one of the tournaments that when it comes every 4 years, people enjoy it. But this time round, Ghana's position, how do you see them?
Actually, let's hope that Ghana don't get 3-0. Let's just be able to pull it. Actually, this is what I've Ghana football now. Yesterday, my team lost, so I don't want a double whammy. Arsenal were disgracefully beaten yesterday, which for me was good because if you don't perform, you don't deserve to win. It's as simple as painful as it is. That is the situation. I wish them all the best, but I don't see how they're going to get out of that group. They might get out of the group, but I don't see how they're going to go far in this tournament. I'm starting to be proven wrong, but I do not see them. From what they played the other time with Algeria, I think we lack that finishing edge. We lack that finishing edge in our football now. It used not to be the days that you have the Ayus where Anthony Bafo, and others where you see them going and you have a bit of hope. Even if they get beaten, even if they get beaten, you know that there's a commitment. That you see that belief, self-belief. You see that, I mean, that kind of, bravado from the players when they step in there. You know, these are people willing to raise the flag up. I think what we have now is more of yes, there are some good talented players over there, but I think we've mixed too much politics with football, and even the selection of the team. Sometimes people question it. I don't remember the last time they had a selection and there was no political meanings that were put into it.
I see.
It used to be a case where naturally when teams are selected, the whole nation rally behind the team. But here's the case, teams are selected and you still have people saying, oh, but why did you leave this person? Why did you leave this person? And actually the evidence is there to show that some of these players are selected because someone has paid so much so that they can be seen as being paid. I mean, I told you of my experience in 2012 in Watford over here when Blaster came to play Nigeria friendly. Inkum by then was being sourced by Celtic. Now there was pressure on the coach not to play him because they've not decided to pay because he's moved his camp from the Serbian mafias who were controlling the management of a lot of players into another a team that he doesn't want them. But they were controlled, they were deciding who should be played, who not should be played. And I was in the meeting when that was with one sports journalist when everything was paired with Inkum. It's sad, but actually those are the situations. I do not have so much hope for them. I wish them all the best. They should do what they can. But whoever wins deserve it. Africa, whoever wins is a brother.
Of course. Whoever wins is a brother. Whichever. So far as Africa, it is Africa. Frank, let me say thank you very, very much for this wonderful input there.
Thank you very much, Archie, and have a wonderful day.
And you, right then. Bye for now. Well, listeners, that was Mr. Frank Davis for you adding his take to the discussions this afternoon. Now, wherever you are, you want to just hold on whilst I bring you the one and only HRH Linda Pallien. And let me take the opportunity to say good afternoon to Chris Fadeli. Chris, I'll get back to you in a moment. Just bear with me. But we take a quick break and I bring you the one and only Linda Pallien this afternoon. Yes, just bear with us whilst we line her up. Okay, whilst we line her up. Just bear with us. But remember, this evening is under 5 o'clock. We'll be bringing you On Point with Regina and Ima, and then we'll be bringing you lots of music this afternoon as well. We'll be having the maestro himself, Mr. Dave West, also bringing you the conscious reggae time. There's going to be a live one pretty soon, but for the moment, there's going to be a repeat of that program for you as well. We are putting everything together nicely for you wherever you are, so that you enjoy the new year and enjoy the new you, whichever is appropriate, whichever you want to say. Some say new year and the new you. We'll be looking into all those factors. But wherever you are, let me say thank you very much. Whilst we try to get Linda on, just stay tuned. Don't you go away. All right then, listeners, Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London, bringing the time now to 12:51, and now we have no one else than our one and only HRH Linda Pallien, who are joining us all the way from Cyprus, and I can see her cladded in her nice scarf, and I think, wow, I love that. Linda, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing very, very well, and you?
I'm doing good. I'm a little bit cold. Winter's finally coming to Cyprus.
oh God. I'm not saying thank you, God, though, but it's nice. It's nice to have a bit of a nice cool feel, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, I can't complain. I've been on the beach this morning, so.
oh, okay. See, that's where you beat me to it. So, but I'll take it like that. Okay. Hope you had a very nice weekend with everything. Now, what are we going to be looking at today?
So today we're going to be looking at practical steps to get back into working, or to take charge of your work situation. Practical steps to get back into work.
Okay. Practical steps to get back into work. Maybe you've been in lockdown, maybe because of the fellow scheme, you're from fellow to fellow, so you've been at home all this while. Now, what are the practical steps that you can put in place to get back into the workplace? That is what we are looking at today. So let's go back to Linda. Over to you, lady.
That's it. So this session is really dedicated to people that because they've been on furlough, or because they've been laid off, or haven't got some income in a while, are considering something else, or have had a break for a while and now they need to earn some money because maybe their income source is dwindling. So this is, what can you do? We all are aware of the factors that we can't control. Recessions, pandemics, redundancies. All of those are things that are out of our control. So today I want us to look at things that we can control to sort of shape our career, to take charge of your career, and to bring some sort of certainty to you about how qualified you are for the work or business that you're in. Okay. So the first steps is really assessing the situation. So we're going to look at what ideas, brainstorm ideas of what you could do. Okay, what could you do in the grand scheme of things? What are your talents? What are your gifts? What could you do for money? And at this first step, and there's 5 of these steps. Okay, five, maybe 6 if we have a bonus one in there. But the first step really is finding out what to do, because that is the empowering bit that brings some sort of certainty. In a world where everything is up in the air and you don't know what's going to happen from one day to the next, you want to be able to give yourself some options, and that starts with a brainstorm and a brain dump of what you could do, and it has to be as big, as wide, as unrealistic as possible, as realistic as possible. Whatever it is that comes to mind, write it down. What could you do for money? Okay, what wouldn't you mind doing for money? What do you love to do? Okay, and what could you do easily to get some money in? Okay, so it might be something like, I could consult for money, I could write an article for money, I could start making jewelry for money. Whatever it is that comes into your head, just write it down. Then the second step will be, what are the skills that I've got? What are the skills that I've got that I can use, and what are these transferable skills? So again, here in this step, you want to brainstorm, and if you're listening and you can do it as I'm talking, that would be great. You know, you can write at least 3 examples as we go and then top it up later. But doing it now really helps, rather than just passively listening. Actively writing it as I'm speaking might trigger some ideas, so that's the best time to do it. So what are the transferable skills have you got? What's the experience that you've had, whether it's customer service, leading a team, closing the shop, opening the shop, manning the cash till, all of these transferable skills. So it's not just your job description. A lot of us just pigeonhole ourselves to the job description. Look at your daily task and write that down. Did you have to write a report to the manager or hand over notes for the manager the next day? Did you have to escalate issues? Did you have to deal with complaints? Write all of those down. Okay, so those are your practical skills. And let's call this 2B, if you will. Let's look at what other transferable skills you have in your personal life. So this is, I'm good at building relationships. I can make people laugh. I can tell a convincing story. I can keep people engaged. Whatever it is. Okay, so you've got your practical skills and then your personal skills, and you want to have them all in one big list as all of the skills that justify what you've done in step 1. That's what you could possibly do. And now step 3, this is the reality check in the step, because you guys know I love living in the real world. Mm-hmm. There's no point in writing, I can do underwater basket weaving if nobody is looking for that service. So step 3 is, let's rank all of these ideas that you've written based on what's realistic for you right now. And when I say realistic in your particular environment, realistic in terms of the market demand, realistic in terms of your financial situation, realistic in terms of how many dependents you are, realistic in terms of how much money you have available to invest in this idea that you said. What's your minimum financial figure to live on? Okay, so if I know that my daily bills or my monthly bills are £1,000 or £2,000, then there's no point in looking for any job that will give me less, or there's no point in starting any business that will give me less than that, because that's not realistic for my situation. However, if I didn't have any bills, or I had minimum bills and I had 500, then I can afford to do a job that's a stepping stone for 500.
Okay, let me just cut in there quickly, because I know people who are listening to us, that bit that you just touched on. Okay, I've been earning what, 3,000 a month now. Under the circumstance, after I've been laid off and everything, now I want to go back, but the job that I'm looking at, I can't get anything that will be paying me, because they tell you are overqualified. But you need to somehow survive or sustain yourself before you can have the big step to take. So are you saying that people shouldn't take jobs like that at all?
Oh, of course. And this is exactly what we're talking about in terms of realistic for you.
Mm-hmm.
If you need a stepping stone job to take it, last week we spoke about the reasons why people might want a job. And again, this helps with the reality check. Do you want a job just to get some money to live on? Do you want a job so that you can get some progress, a job or a business? Is it for money? Is it for progress? Is it for recognition? Is it so that you can create a legacy or to be in a strategic position in that particular field? And with the question you just asked, if it's for subsistence, then you need to take that job, but you have to understand that this job I'm taking for subsistence, and when things are better and I can afford to, then I can move on to the next ladder, the next step up. You have to meet the food and the shelter and the basic needs before you try to self-actualize or get some sort of fulfillment in any way. You know, if your basic needs aren't met, then there's no move forward. So figure out what is realistic for you. I mean, work from home is great for a lot of people, but if you have your kids running around, dogs and cats running around, and you're not going to be productive at home, then it's not realistic for you.
Of course.
You know, a lot of people follow trends that have no bearings with their reality. I want to do this, and you don't have access to stable internet or even a compelling to start being a YouTuber, then it won't work for you. You know, you have to have a why and keep going and be willing to commit and be consistent with it and be okay with earning for a while whilst you're building it. You know, so it has to be realistic for you.
Okay, thank you very much. So, listeners, it is Starr Radio UK. It is the time for the Career 101 with HRH Linda Pallien, and today she's looking at how practical steps to going back to work. You've been furloughed, you've been enjoying all those monies, or maybe the savings that you had, you were living on that, and now you can see that it's running out, and you think, I need to go back to work. I need to find something to keep me up or sustain me until. So, what do you have to do? And that is exactly what she's looking at. So, stay tuned. Over to you, Linda.
Fantastic. So we've spoken about step 1, ideas of what you can do. Step 2, your transferable skills. Step 3, ranking based on what's realistic for you. Rank them based on what's realistic for you. Now, step 4, we want to get an up-to-date CV, resume, portfolio, website, however it is you showcase your skills. We need to update all of that. So if over the lockdown you have started making TikTok videos that are picking up, or you started gardening, which is a new interest you found, update your CV as we go along. You know, update the time that you found to watch documentaries or hobbies or attend all of these VIP boardrooms that now everybody has access to because everything is online right now. You can sit in one country and have access to the whole world. I mean, last week I was in 6 different countries, off my desk in Cyprus, you know, and we have all of this access. So really update your CV with what you've been doing. Like a CV needs to be alive. It's a live document of where you are up until this date. So don't worry about, oh, well, I got the job back in 2015, so that's where my CV stops. You need to constantly add to it so that it's relevant to today's situation and today's market. If you've had to adapt from traveling all the time to being grounded at home, then that's an evidence of adaptability, and you can showcase that in your skills rather than just saying I'm a flexible, adaptable person. It's, well, I've done this, I've adapted and I work from home, and actually it showed in my productivity of this much in my work, this percentage. It's free.
Okay, on the CV, updating of the CV, a quick one from there as well. Now, you've always advocated for, very simple, straightforward CVs, not writing a whole booklet of what your achievement. So now, when you're talking about maybe transferable skills, and so you were talking about personal skills and the transferable. Now, how do you package all those things to be that compact that when somebody sees it, it grabs everything that you can do?
Absolutely, and this is a great question. Your CV in the UK is 2 pages maximum, and it needs to be concise and effective. So depending on what you're going for, your personal profile, you know, there's 4 or 5 sentences you write at the top. The summary is the bit that you can change and adapt to it. You can also add in your interests or professional highlights in your CV if you have that, some of the courses you've taken or some of the conferences you've attended. during this time. So, for example, if you picked up gardening, that will go under interest. If you've attended the Future of Work conference I did on Wednesday, then you can add that to your professional highlights. If you sort of started your own business, that would either go in your experience and also go in the profile, so experience working as part of the team in the company, and also entrepreneurial experience through starting my own company. So these are where you can add it to. And sometimes you may have to take some things out or to make them succinct so that you can fit these relevant skills in there. But if they're prerequisite skills for whatever industry you're going to, then you need to find a way to put them in there. Otherwise, I've seen people in their CV put a link in there to maybe your profile or your website, which is a longer, more illustrative way of showcasing it. So actually on that point, I'm recruiting this week, and one of the CVs I got, which I thought was very impressive, so they had their 2-page CV, their cover letter, and they had an attachment, and the attachment contained screenshot evidence of everything they said in their CV. So they said, I had experience building a relationship and business development, and she speculative emails that she sent to different companies. So a project, the sort of speculative emails, and the sort of results she got from that. And I thought that was very impressive. Social media, and they put some screenshots of some of the social media they created for the company. So I didn't mind that because I had a 2-page CV that I could just look at.
Yeah.
Have the extra evidence should I want to look at that.
Okay. I think that's very, 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 very good. Yeah. Okay, lady.
Step 5 is networking. Networking, actively seeking, asking, applying, speculating, meeting. Talk to people. Talk to people about what you're looking for. Talk to people about what you're not considering doing, what you're going to do. Right? A lot of us spend a lot of time in this. Oh well, I'm considering writing a book, or I'm thinking for next year. And sometimes I fall in this trap. Right? There's no plan as I will do. You're either going to do it or you're not. Or I have to do. So talk to people about what your next steps are. I'm looking for this opportunity so that I might be able to go into forex, or I'm looking for this opportunity so I might be able to go into property. Who do you know? You don't have to take everybody's suggestion, for sure, but you can ask, right? And then you've got options to then evaluate. And finally, if you're going to do one last thing, I want you to make a list of people you can contact. So this is people you can contact today, right now, during this program, that are going to help you achieve that career journey, that career goal that you set for yourself, whether it's finding a job, getting some new clients, starting a business. It's going to give you certainty so that you move from that state of anxiety, worry, into action and doing something that's actively going to contribute to the success or to the realization of your. That's what I do. So at least 3 people that you can contact today that will help you closer to your goal.
Wow. Those are the 6 steps. The 6 steps of practical steps of going back to work. And I think that if you put all those things together, you should be able to, comfortably ease in to work. Yeah, but you cannot do that without the help of a career advisor or a coach or a corporate trainer, which fortunately for you, we have got her on hand, and she's just right here telling you what to do. So why would you want to go to someone who doesn't have the experience or the right things to tell you to do? So Linda, now interestingly, people have listened to you all these wonderful steps. Now, how do they get in touch with you when they are stuck or they got cut up in there and they want a bit of relief? How do they get in touch with you?
Absolutely. If you want help in checking to see that your CV is suitable, maybe you sent applications and you're not getting anywhere with it. If you want someone, a professional, to check your CV, if you want to have a chat about your career and your next steps, then of course get in touch with me. My website is lindapallien.com. You can also find what I do on mycheerlinda.com, or you can contact me directly on Facebook at mycheerlinda or at Linda Pallien, and I'll be able to get back in touch with you. Also, my personal email is lindapallien@gmail.com. So you can definitely reach out to me that way, and I'll be able to help you.
Wow. Linda, yes, I've got my 6 steps. So maybe when you hear that I'm in Cyprus, you know what I'm doing there. Thank you very much for this wonderful time once again. We hope that our listeners have actually enjoyed it, and I promise our listeners is going to be up on our on podcast in the next 5 minutes or thereabout. So make sure you go there and re-listen to it, or you can go to this broadcast that is going on live on YouTube, Periscope, Facebook, and all the social media platforms, and go listen to it. It will help you a great deal. Linda, let me say thank you very much and have a pleasant week.
With pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome.
You too.
Right. Bye-bye. Okay, listeners, that was HRH Linda Pallien all the way from Cyprus, bringing you Career 101. And this is where we're bringing the program to a close. But before we go, this evening, exactly at 5 o'clock, like I announced earlier on, we should be having the one and only Jessica Owu representing Amakers on the On Point program with Empress Regina. So make a date with her. They'll be looking at, when it comes to Amakers, they'll be looking at occupational and spiritual wellness after abuse. Occupational and spiritual wellness after abuse. And that's okay. So I want to say thank you very much for that wonderful presentation by HRH Linda Pallien. Wherever you are, I hope that you enjoyed it. But her books that we did put across. Now, if you want to get your hand on it, yes. That is, let me put them across. The Ultimate Career Workbook for Success and How to Career, and then Career Success. Get your hand on it, and it will help you a great deal. So on that note, let me say thank you very much. But remember, once again, exactly at 5 o'clock, we're bringing you the On Point show with Regina Enima, and then that will go on till 6:30. 7, where we'll continue to bring you some music, and then at 10 o'clock there will be the Conscious Reggae Time with Dave West as well. So this afternoon, lots of mixed music, I call it mixed grill, going to be coming your way, and from what jazz to what reggae to what R&B to high life, name it, it will all be coming your way. So on that note, let me say thank you very, very much for tuning in to listen to us. It's been a pleasure coming your way. I'll be here once again tomorrow, God willing, if everything thinks along nicely, to bring you another edition of the Morning Show. God richly bless you, and thank you very, very much. Enjoy the rest of this song from the timeless Dimapo Nagaland. Don't worry, be happy. Everything's gonna be alright. Bye for now. See you all tomorrow, God willing. Bye.
We're singing note for note. Don't worry. Be happy. In every life we had some trouble. When you worry, you make it double. Don't worry. Be happy. Don't worry, be happy. Don't worry. Be happy. Don't worry.
Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
Lay your head, somebody came.
Thanks for listening.
Don't worry.